What did ancient humans do all day before jobs existed?
You wake up when your body is ready. No alarm, no schedule, no place you need to be. You sit up, stretch, and ask yourself one question. What should I do today? For 99% of human history, this wasn't a hypothetical. This was every single morning for roughly 300,000 years. And
Yeah, bro, but you're not waking up in a fucking bedroom going, oh, no alarm clock. What do I do today? You're waking up because you're sleeping in the outside. You're sleeping in nature. The sun rises, there's animals about. You're probably just going to wake up because it's time to wake up. Like, if you had to work on, like, circadian rhythm clock and you lived outside, you probably would wake up at, like, 7 a.m. every day because the sun's up. Like, maybe you sleep, like, an hour longer tops, but then you got shit to do, dude. You're going to die if you don't get fucking food. I know there was, even in medieval times, like, once, like, alarm clocks didn't exist, but there was societies, there were people you could pay to, like, throw pebbles at your window to wake you up. Like, they would be your alarm clock. There was, like, a person whose job was to stay up, and, like, when the sun rose, you would wake them up. They were called knocker-uppers. Is that actually what they were called? Yeah, it was a job. Knocker-uppers were human alarm clocks, and they worked in Britain and Ireland during the Industrial Revolution. They were paid a few pence a week per person to wake up factory and mill laborers. Alarm clocks were expensive and unreliable. These people had long poles and pea shooters to, like, bang on windows, and they would wake your ass up. I love learning about jobs like that, like, used to exist, but now they're just, like, you know, in the future, irrelevant. So why would you ever have somebody do that?
now, modern humans spend about 90,000 hours of their lives working. That's roughly 1/3 of your waking existence dedicated to a job. But for the overwhelming majority of human history, jobs didn't exist. There was no employment, no wages, no boss, no career ladder to climb. So what did people actually do all day? Let's start with what we know for certain.
Fucking hunt, walk around. If I was a kid, I feel like most of it was like cultivating food, right? Like even before like farming, it was just like foraging for shit, hunting animals, making a fire, cooking the food, maybe improving on your shelter in some way, and then just fucking, you know. Infant mortality was through the roof. They had to constantly be having kids.
1963, archaeologist Richard Lee conducted a study that would change how we understand prehistoric life. He tracked the daily activities of the Dobeju.
When does gooning come in? I don't think they were ever gooning. I think they were just constantly having sex. Because it was like, if you were alive in like caveman times, the odds that you would live past the age of 5 was very slim. Like, you're probably dying when you're born. You're dying in the first year that you were born, or you're getting eaten or fucking some sort of disease in the first 5 years of your life. Like, one of the biggest things of science in general is the fact that we have reduced infantile mortality drastically. That's why our lifespan's up, right? There were a lot of people, like, when they say the average person didn't live till 25 in, like, caveman times, that's true, but the number's highly skewed from like people that died in infancy through early childhood. Like if you were a caveman and you lived to like the age of 20, odds are you might live to fucking 45. Like you'll probably figure it out. You know, you're not going to live to like you're 80, but there were people that were living till their 40s in earlier caveman times.
Swansea people in Botswana, one of the few remaining groups still living in a way that resembles pre-agricultural human life. He found that adults spent about 2.5 days per
1 in every 2 newborns died at birth. That, and then even in newer societies like the Spartans, 1 in 2 newborns died at birth. Maybe it might have been a little bit lower in that earlier society, but Spartan society, if your kid had a defect, they'd fucking throw it off a cliff. So it's like, you're getting a pull rate of like fucking 30%. Like 30% of kids are actually making it into the adult world. Not even the adult world. 30% are getting cared for because the other 70% died or they threw it off a cliff. And then of that 30%, only like what? 80% of them live to, you know, a certain age. And then now they die when they're 20 because they have to enroll in the military and all this. It was like brutal, man. Like you always got to think, bro, Alexander the Great did all that shit before he was like 22. And then he died. Like, when you think of, like, people like that, like, Alexander the Great, he died when he was 32. Like, most of the shit he accomplished, he was, like, 20. We've all seen 300, mate, ... lol. Okay, Benny boy. We've all seen 300, the movie. They don't show them chucking babies off cliffs and the fact that to prove yourself in the Spartan army, you had to go kill slaves. They romanticize the Spartan army. The Spartans were brutal people. It wasn't allowed to kill, like, you weren't allowed to do it, but it was still an initiation ritual where you had to go fucking murder some guy. Like, there was crazy shit they did in Spartan societies that they didn't show in the fucking movies. It's just this war group of people where it's like, 300 men that are trained to go kill wolves and they have to prove themselves in the wilderness. It's like, yeah, it was more than that.
Anthropologists look. The Hadza in Tanzania, the Ache in Paraguay, the Martu in Australia. Completely different environments, different continents. Same result, about 15 to 20 hours per week spent on survival activities. For context, you probably work twice that. Now, some of you are thinking, but those are modern people. How do we know ancient humans lived the same way? Fair question, and the answer comes from bones. When archaeologists compare skeletons of ancient humans to early agricultural populations, the difference is dramatic. Farmers were shorter. Their bones show signs of nutritional deficiency. Their teeth were riddled with cavities from grain-heavy diets. They had arthritis in their spines from repetitive labor. And they died younger. Ancient human skeletons, taller, stronger, healthier teeth, less joint damage. Their bones tell a clear story. They were doing less repetitive physical labor, not more. But the most fascinating evidence comes from something archaeologists found that shouldn't exist if survival was a constant struggle: art. In 1994, explorers discovered Chauvet Cave in southern France.
Yeah, it was clear they had free time. Like, they had time to kill. Cave art, even Neanderthals, non-Homo sapiens did cave art. Like, other versions of humans did cave art. Like, they were efficient enough to do shit. And I always think about that, too. Like, imagine being alive in a time where other versions of people existed. Like, not just, like, Homo habilis or, like, Neanderthals. Like, what was that one group of people that lived on, like, island countries and they were 3 feet tall? No, it wasn't Homo erectus. Oh, my God. Not Homo habilis. I think it's Homo florensis. Florensiensis. Homo florensiensis. It was like a cave. I can't show this. They're naked. It was a type of people that lived in Indonesia. And this is before Homo sapiens. And they were like averagely 3 feet tall. Like full grown. It wasn't like they were like little people or something. Like they were like averagely 3 feet tall. This is like the skull structure of them. You could look it up. All the images, they're butt naked. But they were like really tiny. And they lived and like flourished for like thousands of years. Like none of them are alive anymore, but they were alive 50K years ago. And then they went extinct. We're all part. If you are from non-African descent, the average, like, European individual, like a Caucasian male, is, like, 1 to 2% Neanderthal. Because they crossbreeded. And then we killed them.
Created roughly
or outcompeted them.
30,000 years ago. Horses.
Sucks there's different types of humans. Well, I think it would ground people more if there were different types of humans. I think we hold ourselves at this higher echelon because it's like, oh, we're not animals, we're people. But, like, if there were different types of humans, you would be like, oh, we're just animals. Like, it would be a lot more recognizable if there were, like, Neanderthals and Homo erectus still walking around. You'd be like, oh, there's, like, actually different types of fucking people, man.
Rendered with perspective, shading, and movement. These weren't crude stick figures. This was sophisticated art that required skill, planning, and most importantly, time. Someone spent hours, maybe days, deep inside a cave by firelight, painting animals on a wall. Not for survival, not for food, for beauty, for meaning, for something to do. In Blombo's cave in South Africa.
Well, and then even games. Like, what, like, you could look up, like, I actually always look into this shit. Like, what's the earliest board game? What's the oldest game played? Like, what's the oldest game? Senet, an ancient Egyptian race game from the year 3100 BC. Bakuman from 3000 BC. So these were games for like 5,000 years ago. And then even then, there were probably just like stupid shit cavemen did. Like, who could hit this tree with a rock?
Archaeologists found 100,000-year-old
Soggy Biscuit. Yeah, Soggy Biscuit. A classic. An instant classic.
100,000-year-old perforated shell beads, tiny holes drilled through seashells, clearly meant to be strung together as jewelry. The nearest coastline was 20 kilometers away. Someone walked 40 kilometers round trip just to collect shells, then spent hours carefully drilling holes with stone tools, just to look good. In 2008,
Yeah, but I wonder how they had that. I feel like they had to be collecting and doing stuff in that time frame too, because like he's saying 15 to 20 hours a week was spent foraging and hunting. And yeah, I will say you want to be more sedentary because then you're burning more calories. Like there's no point. I'm forgetting that there's no food storage. So if you have food for the week, like say you have raw meat and you've cooked it, or you've like even maybe put it in salt, like earlier on, like humans figured that shit out. Like that's not lasting super long. Like if you have food, okay, I'm good for 3 days, and then I got to go get more food. There's no point in getting food now because I have it right now, and if I get more food, it'll rot. So it's like, if you kill a deer, now you just do nothing for 3 days because you and your tribe are fine. Like, you're just chilling. So it's like, all right, let's kill time. Let's go fuck around, and then we got to go find food again.
researchers found a 40,000-year-old flute carved from a vulture bone in Germany. 5 finger holes, perfectly spaced. Whoever made this understood music, they understood pitch, and they spent significant time crafting it. Not for hunting, not for defense, for music. These aren't
that's so cool, man. Somebody figured that shit out.
Isolated finds. Across Europe, Africa, and Asia, archaeological sites from 100,000 years ago onward are filled with evidence of decorative objects. Carefully crafted tools far more elaborate than necessary for survival,
From 100,000 years ago?
and items that required hours of focused work with no immediate practical benefit. This is what people did when they weren't securing food. They created, they decorated, they made things beautiful. So let's reconstruct a day. You wake up around
Bro, I just want to know the first human that went, whoa, what? Who am I? You know? And then I assume that's where, like, it had to be, like, earlier language. Like, once language was made, you know, there were people that were using complex language to question feelings they once had. Like, all right, the complete supply chain of some generic consumer junk.
Precisely 5 minutes after the homeowner leaves for work in the morning, a package is gently delivered to their doorstep containing an impulse purchase from the night before. This box is just one of 36 million that will be delivered across a...
You ever watch an Amazon driver work when you're driving by them? Most stressed out people you will ever see. If you think you're having a bad day, drive past an Amazon delivery driver and they're just fucking, they're like, if I can deliver something, run back to their car, fucking get in, go to the next house, go to the next apartment. They gotta fucking deliver some shit 6 stories up. Oh my God, they're freaking out the whole time. It's terrible. Dude, they churn employees at Amazon like fucking butter, dude. So fast. 1 in, 1 out every 2 months.
America over the next 10 hours, serving a growing appetite for home-delivered consumption. But inside this particular package is a humble paper shredder purchased for $59.99 with free delivery. As far as modern products...
Next day delivery makes no fucking sense to me. I understand I live in New Jersey, so there's a lot of shit around. It's different from like if you live in like a rural Nebraska. Bro, how the fuck? I understand if I order like protein powder or some basic shit paper that comes in next day. I have ordered like random niche products and it says next day shipping. They just have that in a warehouse. Like my possum costume came in 2 days. 2 days. They just have a possum costume on hand. Why? Why? They're waiting. They know somebody's gonna order that. That's what freaks me out. Them having a paper shredder next day, whatever. Now he's gonna go into how the paper shredder's made, and it's gonna mind fuck me. But that doesn't freak me out that it's like in a warehouse. Because yeah, people are gonna order a fucking paper shredder. People are gonna order a Keurig or like a coffee pot or a mug. You know, I get that.
It's actually pretty basic. It only has 40 components in total, and they are each made from common generic materials. But even to assemble this cheap desktop appliance, those simple parts collectively traveled over 500,000 kilometers, went through...
Yeah, in a fucking lithium mine. There's some shit. The fucking battery, dude, literally any random product you have, part of that shit's from like fucking Australia, South Africa, Germany, Iceland, Norway. It's all just combined together.
Hundreds of industrial facilities in dozens of countries employed thousands of workers, and it all started right here.
Was this a fucking bomb test?
In the Northern Territory of Australia, the Alcongove mine extracts 12.5 million tons of bauxite every year.
What the fuck is bauxite? See, that's what I'm talking about, bro. Everything you use on a day-to-day basis, you know nothing about. Bauxite? What is that? Plastic?
Australia is
For aluminum ore?
the largest producer of this raw material in the world, and this mine is one of its biggest. The operation is simultaneously so remote and massive that it's actually the 4th largest township in a region roughly twice the size of France. This is particularly impressive since the permanent population of the outpost is actually less than a few hundred people. Almost everybody here at a given time flies into work at this.
But you never meet a motherfucker with this job! You never meet a motherfucker who does that! That's what I'm saying, bro. No. Everybody I know, yeah, I work at Walmart. I'm an electrician. I'm a plumber. I work for an airline. I'm a nurse. I need to meet a motherfucker that's like, yeah, I work at a fucking carbon factory. Cause who the fuck works there? But there's so many, because why are you screaming? Bro, because that's like so many jobs in the world, but I know no one I don't even know somebody that knows somebody that works at a fucking, like, I know people that work at Amazon factories. I don't know anybody that works at like a fucking coal mine or some shit. Now I know a lot of that's like out of country, but even then, like other random niche things, I'm like, who the fuck, like like somebody that works at like a trash mill, or like a recyclable place. Or a water plant. I don't know anybody who works there. I don't know. Fucking random people.
Mine and then flies out back to
It's automated? Bro, a lot of it's automated, but there's still people there.
civilization once their roster is complete. And if
you know less than 0.08% of the world? Dude, I know less than 0.0000001% of the world. Even then, though, I'm saying, like, in your region, there are people that have jobs, not around mining in Australia, obviously, unless you live in Australia. But, like, you know people, or there's people in your area that work at, like, a nuclear fucking facility.
The mining process that takes place here is almost astonishingly simple. Most of the material that they're after is literally sitting on the surface, so instead of drilling deep into the earth, they just blow up the dirt and scoop it into giant trucks. This crude technique is highly effective and economical, but it does have one unintended side effect. Since
Bro, you want to know what? I need to meet somebody that runs one of these. What is that bucket? What is that bucket machine that's big as hell, and it's a circle, and it just goes roof, 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 and it picks stuff up. What's the name of that? It's like an excavator of sorts, but it works at, like, mines. Excavator, scoop, wheel, truck. But this on a bigger scale. I need to meet somebody that runs one of these. What a badass machine to fucking control. You own one of these diggers that just fucking picks up thousands of pounds of dirt and supplies.
Everything happens at the surface, the red dirt of this sprawling extraction site are easily visible from space. Either way, once it's collected, the raw material is moved along an 18-kilometer conveyor belt to a processing and storage yard at the very tip of the peninsula, where the alumina ore is separated from other impurities. It's kept here until a buyer sends a bulk carrier to dock at the mine's dedicated shipping port. And then it's back on another conveyor belt to a ship waiting almost a mile offshore. The vessels moving this material are some of the largest bulk freighters in the world. They're so large that they can't actually get that close to shore without a dedicated deep-water port, and those are expensive. The port only handles two particular products in bulk: Ships take out raw alumina and bring in heavy fuel oil, which is used in a self-contained electrical plant to power both the industrial mine site and the local township. Both raw ore and liquid fuel can be piped or moved on a conveyor, so it's easier to get the cargo out across the ocean to the ship than to bring the ship to the cargo at the shallow shore. Once loaded, this glorified pile of dirt will start a 3-week journey up the Malacca Strait, through the Indian Ocean, the Suez...
This stresses me out. Like, I understand this was all developed in specialized trade over generations and years, but this is the supply chain for one singular cog in a printer. One.
Canal and the Mediterranean to end up here on almost exactly the opposite side of the planet, in Iceland. This small
What?
country is blessed with almost unlimited
Wait, they shipped it to Iceland?
through the Indian Ocean, the Suez Canal and the Mediterranean to end up here on almost exactly the opposite side of the planet.
They're shipping aluminum from Australia to Iceland to probably go to somewhere else to make 1/50th of a printer. What? Dude, Iceland's literally on the opposite side of the world.
This small country
What the fuck do they need to ship it to Iceland for?
is blessed with almost unlimited geothermal power, which makes the energy-intensive process of turning raw alumina into refined aluminium very cost-effective and environmentally friendly compared to alternative plants that power their operations with.
Dude, deadass, imagine living right there. Is this a nuclear power plant? These are like smokestacks. Dude, imagine living... That house is 100 feet away from that.
Fossil fuels. Thousands of tons of raw alumina oxide.
They're safe? Bro, I know they're safe and they rarely explode, but imagine your outside view being a literal nuclear power plant.
Operations with fossil fuels. Thousands of tons of raw alumina oxide is loaded into massive furnaces and then electrolytically separated into pure aluminium. If you ever did an electrolysis experiment in science class separating out hydrogen and oxygen, the process is almost the same, only it's done with molten metal instead of water, and the energy requirements are an order of magnitude greater. To refine just 1 ton of aluminium takes approximately 15 megawatt hours of electricity. To put that into perspective, that would be enough energy to drive a standard Tesla Model 3 over 60,000 miles, or
How is it $50 for the fucking printer? How is it $50 for the fucking printer? Why is it not 35 grand? Enough energy to make 1 ton of this? 2,000 pounds? Just one part of this machine? Enough energy to fucking drive a goddamn Tesla around the world multiple times?
This plant, on the other hand, smelts more than 1,000 tons.
What is the circumference of the Earth? I know it's mass production. Bro, you could drive the Tesla around the Earth 3 times.
Every day. The reason it's worth it to ship this raw material halfway across the world is because the energy savings of refining aluminium in Iceland with its cheap electricity pay for the increased shipping costs more than 10 times over.
And somebody figured that out. Nah. Somebody figured that out, bro. Somebody was like, what if instead of making the aluminum here, we shipped it all the way across the entire world where they could use lava to do it and geothermal energy.
Once this process is completed, the molten aluminium is poured into ingot molds and then stacked into pallets, which can then be loaded back onto the same kind of bulk
Yeah, and watch this motherfucker say they ship that shit from Iceland back to China.
carrier that delivered the raw materials in the first place. Normally these ships are loaded with loose dry goods, but they're effectively just big floating boxes. If they can safely store something in their holds, they can ship it. From there, the next destination, back through the Mediterranean and the Suez, is up to the Chinese city of Foshen.
Stop, dude, this is too much. This is too much. This is too fucking much. This is for one, dude, this is just aluminum.
This industrial city center across the bay from
Pre-watch, bro, everything's made in China.
Hong Kong and Shenzhen has become a trade hub for raw materials like copper, steel, and aluminium.
Copper-tubing.
Vendors like Henan Aluminium Industrial Company will buy these ingots directly from smelting plants and then ship them to their
I think I need to invest in Henan Xinte Aluminum Industry Co. Ltd. I think I want to invest in this company in Henan, China.
warehouses across the river. These businesses then wholesale these raw ingots, but also turn them
How do I buy stock in that company?
into alloyed sheets and plates to be sold at a slight markup to industrial customers throughout southern China. A lot of these products are sold through existing contact networks, but if you're inclined to buy industrial quantities of metal, they also post their wares on sites like Alibaba. Although
I can buy the aluminum sheets from Alibaba. What would I use? Minimum order 25 tons? What the fuck? Why would I ever order 25 tons of fucking aluminum sheets from Alibaba? Even if you're a business, there's no way they're ordering that from Alibaba.
Although you do need to buy 5 tons at a time, so
Bro.
it should last you a while. The 6061 grade aluminium alloy from Iceland can actually charge a slight premium over regular sheets because certain suppliers prefer the European manufacturer's quality control and green manufacturing process. Of course, most manufacturers simply don't care as long as the material gets the job done, so the marketplace between vendors and buyers is fierce. However, once a deal is made, 30 tons of cylindrical alloy beams are loaded onto a barge and floated another 1,000 kilometers up the Pearl River to a machining plant just on the outskirts of the city of Nanning. It's probably a city you've never heard of, but it's home to nearly
Oh yeah, but there's 80 million fucking people there. Hey, this is a random city in China you've never heard of in your entire life, but look how many fucking skyscrapers there are. This is where 1% of the world lives.
9 million people, and it's
That's like New York City. This is a New York City of people.
a major producer of the parts that make the products you interact with every day. Once the beams are unloaded into the factory warehouse, they're loaded into grinding machines to etch out a basic spoke pattern, and then they're sliced lengthwise to produce hundreds of basic standardized gears. Mechanical parts made out of aluminium are not nearly as strong as those made out of steel, but the lighter weight and easier machinability of this metal makes it very popular for low-stress applications in basic consumer machines. Once they're machined, the pallets of
Bro, this is like a hyper in-depth episode of how it's made. Because how it's made will start with the items used. They don't start with the production and manufacturing of said items. Because how it's made would start with the cog. This is an entire episode of how the cog's even made.
gears and then shipped back down the river to another buyer who ordered the parts in bulk a month before. At this point, the 1 ton of raw bauxite scraped out of the ground back in Australia has been turned into 5,000 little metal gears. The net material hasn't
Awesome.
actually changed that much, apart from a few trace metals thrown in to form an alloy. However, as unrefined ore, it would sell in China for around $75 a ton. These basic gears, on the other hand, are now going to be sold in exactly the same city for $5,000.
I need to invest in this Chinese company. How do I do it?
A markup of 600%, which has so far justified every
Aluminum gears, chat. That's the business I'm getting into now.
step in the process, but it's not done yet. These gears are actually being forwarded from Guangzhou to another buyer in Vietnam. They're loaded onto a 20-foot shipping container and then into a small cargo ship, which will make the short 2-day journey from the Ocean Gate shipping terminal. No, not
A 2-day journey short.
that Ocean Gate, to the port city of Haiphong. Over time, as China has developed, it's actually started outsourcing a lot of its basic manufacturing the same way that the West has outsourced their basic manufacturing to China. Chinese workers and businesses have developed an array of highly technical industrial skills and expertise. Cities like Guangzhou are also not cheap to operate in anymore, and workers in these cities demand wages enough to compensate for this cost of living. What this means is that basic hand assembly is far more economical in Vietnam than it is back in China. Major manufacturers like LG, Samsung, Bridgestone, Yazaki, and Foxconn all have massive manufacturing plants in this city because it's one of the most competitive places in the world to put stuff together. It's still close to China, so technical pieces can be imported and assembled components can be exported with very few barriers, while line workers here simply earn about 1/5 of what similar Chinese workers would make a few thousand miles up north.
Damn. So we're buying shit from China, but China's outsourcing that to Vietnam?
In this
Or
case,
Thailand?
the gears end up in a smaller factory that specializes in low-end consumer hardware. Here, the gears are attached by hand to an electrical motor, which is then combined with lower stress plastic gears, a rubber belt, a stack of steel teeth, all held together by an injection molded plastic case. None of these components were made in this factory, just being put together here. In fact, each and every one of them have all taken a similar journey from raw material extraction to refineries, machining, component manufacturing, and assembly, in addition to all the warehousing and shipping that comes with it. But the journey is still not over yet. The technical components have all been assembled, but that package back on the doorstep in America didn't contain an EC43515 MCD P4 cross-cut electric shredder subassembly. It contained a user-ready paper shredder. Most manufacturers don't want to deal with the stress and persnickety requests that come from retail clients. So once this housing is assembled, it's shipped back to China to a warehouse that produces white-labeled consumer products for several retailers across the world. These generic internals will...
Dude, this is so much. I don't understand how they profit on that. You know what I mean? The 5,000 cogs are worth 5K, but like you're only using like fucking 10 of them in the printer. But then you have so many other products. How are they making money? Like, what do you think the profit margins on the printer are? Well, people are making money on the back end every time. Australia's making money shipping it to Iceland. Iceland's making money giving it to China. China's making money giving it back to itself in another city, giving it to Thailand, giving it back to China, assembling it, giving it to another company that then assembles that and gives it to the average consumer. But like, dude, why is it not more than $50? How is it $50? I understand its efficiency in mass production. That's what it is. It really just is mass production. Because those cogs are used, there's a standardized like set of, you know, rivets, nails, cogs, and they use a lot of the same things for, like, those cogs aren't just used for printers, they're used for a million things. So they're making fucking a million of them in a week, and then they're fucking putting those into a bunch of different products. But it's like the fact that there's one factory that just makes these cogs, there's one factory that just makes these things, is insane to me.
Paper shredder, some of which will cost significantly more than others. The way it works is that a retailer from a country like America will design a plastic housing to go around the internal components and then sell their model to end users. In this case, the American retailer will work with the Chinese wholesaler to pick some injection molded shapes and colors which they think will work with their branding to best appeal to their target consumers in their home market. The Chinese factory produces large batches of these models for a fixed price and will also work with other suppliers on packaging. Additionally, a printed cardboard box and foam insulation is provided by a supplier in Thailand, and everything is put together and loaded onto specially compliant pallets, which are then placed into a 40-foot shipping container. From there, the Chinese wholesaler and the American retailer use a third-party customs broker who specializes in booking slots on container ships and making sure everything gets through customs at each end with minimal headaches. Since the boxes containing the paper shredders are not particularly large,
I used to be upset at myself. Like, the next philosophy video I'm posting is how, like, specialized labor is kind of crazy, but also really good. But I'm fully okay with the fact that I know how nothing works now. Because there's no point in me learning. There's no point in me learning how my printer works because it's too much. But I don't even think that, like, from each individual perspective, like, of the Icelandic people that are making the aluminum, they're not going, I need to know how this works with a printer. They're just going, I need to know how to make an aluminum. The one factory goes, I need to know how to make cogs. The one factory goes, I need to know how to assemble these cogs. So it's like they all know minimal things.
Large, heavy, or dangerous, they can be forwarded straight from the port in Los Angeles to the Amazon inbound cross-dock a few miles up.
But isn't that a little scary too? How if like one end of this production line faults, everything fails. You know? Like, obviously there's bigger ones further back. Like, if you don't make the aluminum, then obviously you can't make anything. But like, if the cog factory blows up, there's none of these printers for a little bit. unless they find a new supplier.
Trucks constantly drive this route 24 hours a day, taking containers from the dockside to this distribution warehouse in a process called dryage. From this, the containers are unpacked, and individual products are then organized and sent out across the country to strategically placed fulfillment centers where they'll await a midnight impulse purchase. This whole process was just one single branch of a very small basic product tree. Tracing the origin of every component in this shredder would literally take hours, and that's to say nothing of goods with thousands of far more technical parts. Even this cheap basic appliance.
Far more technical parts. I feel like I would love to see a video. I think the video of how an iPhone is made is probably 5 hours long. To go through every individual part of like a phone or a computer, like how your GPU is made, like how the fucking tablet you're watching me on, the fucking TV you're watching me on, a 4090 GPU. How the fuck is that made? The way CPUs are made is insane. Oh my god, dude, it's probably so technical. Yeah, CPUs, but aren't CPUs largely made... Is it CPUs or GPUs that are largely made in Taiwan?
Which will statistically,
I think it's CPUs, right?
only be used about 12 times before being disposed of, traveled many times around the world, because that's the cheapest way to do things. Australia has resources.
I don't know. Chat's giving me different answers here. GPUs.
Iceland has practically unlimited energy. China has an
That's just Blue Lagoon in Iceland. This isn't even I don't think this is a factory. This is Blue Lagoon in Iceland. I've been here.
unlimited energy. China has an unrivaled industrial network. Vietnam has a large, cheap workforce, and the
God, dude, driving in Iceland was fucking terrible. Their roads are so nice, but they constantly have to like refix them up and shit. And I was driving past like freshly paved asphalt, and I just hear just rocks hitting the bottom of the car, and I'm like, this is a fucking rental. This is a rental. And for like 5 minutes straight, just fucking slamming the bottom of the car. I'm like, dude, this shit's gonna explode.
USA has insatiable consumers. It's up to you to decide if you think this web of comparative advantage has really made the world a better place. But what it has done is made things cheaper and more convenient. Today, a paper shredder is an impulse purchase, but just 50 years ago, an electronic device like this would have been a family heirloom.
What the fuck is a paper shredder for? We haven't addressed that yet. What the fuck is a paper shredder for? Shredding paper, but why? Like important things, like documents and checks. Why not just rip it up like 15 times? It's like legal shit. Like if you're like a lawyer or something, or like a business, it's just easier to shred it. I guess that's why it's an impulse buy.
If there's one invention above all of that which has made this possible, it's the humble box. Most
Why do more than 2 of you own a paper shredder?
of these parts have been ferried around in along the way. So if you liked this video, go and check out the next one on
I loved that. I loved that video. It stressed me out, but I enjoyed it. Next video, chat. Failed end of the world predictions. Papa Meat.
I don't want to set the world.
The recent one on TikTok. What do you think those people are doing now? If you don't know about that, there was a lot of people on TikTok recently that were selling their homes and cars and giving away all their items, putting their kids up for adoption. Not a lot. It was probably like 100 people. But there were people that definitively tried to get like rid of all their goods for the rapture, because they believed that the world was ending and the devil or demons were going to take over Earth, and they were going to be sucked into heaven. And there were like rapture tip videos on how you should stand outside so you don't get stuck on your ceiling, which I thought was kind of stupid, because if you were getting raptured, you would think that God would just be able to morph you through the wall. But a lot of people were seemingly worried that there would be something blocking their headspace, and they would be kind of stuck to the ceiling, like you're in one of those UFO carnival rides. And God would be trying to rapture you, but he would give up because your drywall was blocking you.
Welcome back to the Papa Beat channel. How you doing? How you doing? Coming in and sitting down because today we're gonna
Yeah, roofs are rapture proof.
talk about end of the world predictions. Throughout time, there has always been the prevalent belief that we are living in the end times, right? We are always living in the end times, whether it's natural disasters, nationwide pandemics, or something based on religious scripture. It's always a looming fear that hangs upon many people's heads. People have predicted when the world will
I do kind of wish, whoa. I do kind of wish that, sorry, that, I lost my train of thought there. There was a lot of, okay. Anyways, I kind of wish that I was around, well, I was around, but not 10. I was 10 years old during the 2012 apocalypse. Anybody remember that? Like, I didn't hear about that shit until way later. I kind of wish that I was able to experience in my current conscious form the mass hysteria that was the 2012 apocalypse, where a lot of people full believed that the world was going to end in 2012.
meet its end even as far back as the first millennium. These predictions often resulted in a mass hysteria, with believers going to great lengths to prepare themselves physically and emotionally for their final.
I love Doomsday Preppers, though. That show's awesome. My favorite part is the first 5-second intro. My name's Dale, and I'm getting ready for a fucking sun flare. There's a lot of realistic ones like that. And then it'll be like, my name's... I don't know why I'm always doing like a brutish Southern male, but my name's John, and I'm getting ready for the zombie apocalypse. Okay, pal. He himself is also working on the rabies offshoot that he wants to unleash to the public because he wants the zombie apocalypse to happen a little too much.
Day. The most recent iteration of this endlessly recurring phenomenon can be found on TikTok, taking shape in a specific community known as Christian talk.
A very small subsection of Christian talk, though. Like the majority of it was like 99.9% of Christians on Christian talk were like, guys, the rapture's not happening tomorrow. Guys, this is a little unreal.
The only God, the white Christian God. Jesus, blonde hair, blonde mullet, blue eyes, flip-flops, and a Dale Earnhardt tattoo. The Intimidator. Recently, there has been a ton of Christians on TikTok freaking out about the rapture that was set to take place on September 23rd and 24th. That was rapture talk grew as...
Bro, what I hate about this is, say at some point, it's in our lives, we have like, what was that movie with the meteor with Leonardo DiCaprio? And the meteor was going to hit Earth, and like nobody believed it initially. It will straight up be Don't Look Up. If we have a Don't Look Up scenario where like a meteor is hauling towards Earth and we're all going to die, I will be so viscerally upset. Number one, that Earth's going to explode. But more so, the amount of people that would be like, this is it. This is the sitting there acting like they got that shit right. Like every time there's some drama shit, bro, somebody being like, yeah, I could have predicted this from the start. I've been saying this the whole time. Yeah, there would be a few dickheads that would be like, I actually knew the meteor was going to hit. This was God's plan for me all along. He told me when I was 12. Okay.
The movement spread and became more popular. Thousands of people were posting about how they fully believed.
Oh no, get ready, the king is coming. So excited. 9/23/24. Also, aren't you not supposed to know if you're going to heaven or hell? Like, isn't that saying if you're like, yeah, I'm getting raptured? Yeah. Yeah, I'm getting raptured. You're not. Get ready, because this is going to be really exciting. Like, that's kind of like narcissistic that you're outwardly saying that you're definitively getting raptured because you're such a good boy. Like, yes, you believe in God, but even accepting Jesus as your Lord and Savior, you should always be like on edge based on how I've learned about Christianity my entire life, is that like nobody's ever 100% safe unless you're literally declared a saint in the Catholic Church long after you die.
That the end times were coming. Some were overjoyed, while others were stricken with intense grief. Oh God, we're gonna die. It's a bummer. This all began when South African pastor Joshua Mikela claimed to have
Wrong? Really? How? How are you? You're supposed to know definitively that you're going to heaven. There should always be some level of unease. No? Correct me if I'm wrong, genuinely.
a vision of Jesus telling him of his return to earth. According to Josh, he saw Jesus on a throne telling him, I am coming soon.
I am coming soon.
Jesus then told him dates of his arrival, which were 2 weeks out.
Bro doing a podcast with a bare brick in the motherfucking back telling me that the rapture's coming on September.
From his vision. A clip of an interview with Josh talking about his vision blew up and started the whole craze. But no one could have predicted the mass hysteria that would follow. It was pretty shocking. Right out of the gate, people began to post videos of themselves preparing their houses for the people left behind.
If you're seeing this and you're still here, I'm so sorry that you didn't make it. At least you're here getting to do all the sins that you wanted to do. And
The guy that bought her car for $1 the day after the rapture when she comes back asking for it back. The guy that's actively in a fucking U-Haul moving into her house when she walks back to her house. Ah, sorry.
be naughty with your fellow sinners. I don't know. Maybe you can make the best out of it. But yeah, goodbye.
Bro, like, what are those people doing right now? Like, I want to know so bad. They're out. Do you think they just moved? Like, do you think they've moved past that? Have to have. But there's no way. Like, there's no way your entire being believes that the world's going to end, and then a month later, you're not in shambles. Like, I feel like you would be distraught for like a year if you fully felt that the world was definitively going to end.
Yeah, if anybody's here after the...
But they're like, it's not, honestly, it's not even like they've been misled. It's like a level of like mental instability, bro. Like that's like it's not like, oh, you're just like hyper religious. No, it's like you're like falling for a podcast clip of a fucking pastor saying that he saw a vision the world's gonna end.
Rapture, because my ass is going up. I got a jacuzzi back there. Feel free to use it, bozo. One woman stocked up on candles and Bibles, as well as leaving behind laminated note cards of script.
Why are you stocking up on Bibles? The world's ending. You're getting sucked into the sky in a blue beam of light. What the fuck?
Bibles.
Oh, is she handing these out to people? Jesus loves you. If this woman handed me a fucking Bible that said Jesus loved you, and then I didn't get raptured, and earth was set on blaze, I'd be pissed. I'd be like, what the fuck is this doing for me? I'm dead.
As well as leaving behind laminated note.
What did that say? It's not you?
As well as leaving behind laminated note.
It's not too late. I gotta read that.
And laminated.
It's not too late to take this Bible. Find other believers. Be careful who you trust. Do not take the mark in hand or forehead. Huh?
Note cards of scripture.
Where did everybody go? Many people vanished because they believe in Jesus Christ, Son of God. And in something, take them to heaven. This is God to save those who trust him.
For the sinners who she believed would enter
Oh my God, this
home.
is like so reminding me of when I left the gym one day and some dude shoved a fucking card in my door and I read it in my car and he was claiming to be Jesus Christ in the flesh. And he was asking for, like, help in his search to create his own new, like, subsect of... I've told you guys this story. This was, like, a year and a half ago. Maybe 2 years ago. I left the gym, and there was a dude that shoved, like, a pamphlet in my fucking car door. And I read it, and he literally was claiming to be the reincarnation of Jesus Christ. Like, he was... I wish I kept it. I threw it out, and it was, like... it was like full-blown religious psychosis. It was the craziest thing I've ever read from like a random guy.
Probably fornicate with each other, because what else are they going to do with hell on earth?
It's true. No rules.
Did you get an autograph? No, I didn't see the dude. It was just in my door.
Like Jesus said, I am going to come in 2 weeks. and I'm going to take all of the sinners and leave them.
Do you think he meant the other cum?
Yeah, what if that was the thing? What if Joshua's right and he was like, hey, by the way, Joshua, I'm going to come in 2 weeks. I cannot wait for that day.
Jesus, what?
Whoa! Other believers began quitting their jobs, selling their cars, and rumors spread that some people were even selling their homes. According to one user online, her psychiatrist permanently closed her practice because she fully believed that the rapture was coming. A psychiatrist. She completely abandoned her patients and began posting TikToks about her excitement for.
I think you probably shouldn't be going to that psychiatrist to begin with, but I think that's honestly a good thing. I think if you have a psychiatrist and she shuts down her business because she fully believes the rapture is coming, I think, honestly, you've probably done yourself a solid to find another psychiatrist.
The end times. Her patients were left in disbelief and shared her videos showing how insane she looked for abandoning her decade-long practice and for posting about TikTok.
Thank you, Rapture Talk, for making me get rid of everything they own for free and not care. Why does she have 9 fucking cameras from like 2003?
Online.
My God, why do you have so many cameras?
Wow.
Well, that's the thing. If it's just going to happen, you got a 2-week heads up. Take a 2 weeks vacation. See if it,
No. I'm closing it down. It's the principal, Nick. Because she's like, it doesn't matter. We're free. She's letting them know, too. She's making a statement, right? She's standing behind. She's staying on business. Listen.
you should yourself.
You should go on the tallest building. You should yourself. Jump off it up, no fly. Big splat on ground. Hey, we just want to thank today's sponsor real quick, Star4. And hey, back to the video. Since they were not expecting to be left on Earth, people began to give away all their money to random strangers. Smart. An Uber driver posted about how they were picking up a couple after church who were crying hysterically.
And they get in my car and, they're weeping. And so I'm like, hey, is everything okay? They were like, yeah, the Lord is coming back. Jesus is coming back tomorrow. And I was like, wait, like tomorrow? They were like, yeah, I think it's like between the 23rd and the 24th. I was like,
Bro, I'd get fired over that shit. Oh my God, I would get banned on the Uber app. I'd be like, your crazy ass thinks you're getting raptured tomorrow, bro. I wouldn't be able to hold that in. Like if I was Uber driving 2 people out of church and they were crying, saying they were gonna get taken in light, like floating into the sky, I'd be like, bro, you need.
okay.
They said they believed the rapture was coming the next day and wanted to bless their driver with the remaining money since they wouldn't need it. Oh, dude,
this makes us Christians look bad. I think most people recognize the difference between Christianity and insane people that think they're getting raptured. Like now, right? Like believing the rapture different from being like, yeah, I'm getting raptured tomorrow.
It's a blessing in disguise. God was just like, you got it, dude. There's your tip. You know what I mean? So before they got out of the car, they handed their driver a huge roll of cash containing various dollar bills and coins from around the world.
So it's like a bundle full of cash. Now,
they just gave him money?
Various dollar bills and coins from around the world.
So it's like a bundle full of cash. Now, keep in mind, in this bundle, there's even coins in it because it was like in this like cup thingy or whatever. So there's even like euros, and I see some Canadian money in here. So there's dollars, there's hundreds, there's 20s, there's 5s. Like there's all the denominations inside of this. So I have yet to count it up. So I'm going to count it up and come back. Hold on.
After counting it up, it totaled to over $1,900.
They gave bro $2,000? Nah, him being nice was probably the move. What the fuck?
They also said that they were getting together in their neighborhood to discuss giving away their homes and more.
Oh my God, dude, oh no, that's dickhead shit if you feed into that. I would have to be like, please don't do this. You're fucking yourself over. But part of me so bad would want to be like, I'll buy your house. I'll buy your house for $1. I'll buy your house for $1 if you want to.
Their money. He's like, could you give me your address? Tell me the time for that. I would love to know the exact time and place for that. Hold on. Jesus is giving me another message. You should open up your garage door and let this man live in the basement free of charge. Okay, Jesus. All right, you're coming home with us. Who knows? Jesus works in mysterious ways.
I was going to say, this sounds... Okay, here's the thing. I think Jesus was pulling a prank. I think he...
Haha, Joshua. Knock, knock. He's met Jesus. I was kidding the whole time. Practical joke on Joshua. But here's the thing, I didn't joke about Joshua. There he's come all over my feet and my legs.
What the fuck is he saying right now?
Said that would happen 2 weeks ago. Oh, Jesus, you're gone done pulled the prank on me. Not even Africa. It's like Jamaica. All right. Another person received a $300 tip from a woman who was overly generous for the same reason. Their coworker also received a $777 from the same woman, but after the rapture failed to happen, she came back demanding the money be returned to her. That's
Demanding it be returned to her? You giving her money back, chat? This woman tips you $1,000 because she thinks she's getting raptured. I'd feel like a dick if I don't give the money back, but I'd also be like, I would outwardly give her the money back, and I'd be like, okay, I'll give you $1,000 if you write "I'm stupid" on your forehead. Like, I would have to be like, bro, come on. Like, you need to. I would be like, I need something out of this for shock value, just because you're outwardly just but you're handing your money away. Why are you doing that?
It's not very Christ-like, lady. Not every Christian believed in this, as many were trying to tell the others that this is literally stated in the Bible that only God knows when the rapture.
She was going to leave me behind, but only give me $300. That is fair. I'd be like, if she give me $300, I'd be like, why not the whole bank account? I mean, he's fucking sitting there. Actually, do you have more than, did you drive here in a car? Oh, could you sign the pink slips to me, or?
Is coming. Yeah, but Jesus told Joshua, it's me, Jesus, again. I'm being for real this time.
Oh, Jesus, I am not listening to you.
Jesus, I cannot listen anymore. The people.
She comes back the next day. Can I have my car back? Already blew it up with a rocket launcher. What? Yeah, it was for a YouTube video. It only got like 10 views, though. It was pretty. You want to see? Here it is, though. It's just their car getting fucking demolished.
Oh, mad.
Yeah, I actually gave it to Mr. Beast. He exploded it in a Squid Games segment, if that makes you feel any better.
I feel like I had like a really good like African thing going at the beginning, and then it slipped away. Others pointed out that people have been predicting the rapture since the 1800s and would always try and convince people to worry about the next upcoming final day, right? This one's not, just worry about the next one. However, the 23rd and 24th came and went. Nobody was called up for the pearly gates, and everyone went about their day as usual. Some who believe the hoax claimed that they got the date wrong.
No shot this many people were outside waiting.
It said it was actually next year, or a few years down the road, or maybe a couple more years after that. And some questioned their faith, and the pastor who made the initial prediction went live and apologized for everything.
Oh, God. Why did I do that? It was not even Jesus who called to me. It was my mom.
Can a brother make a mistake?
Well, let's go back in time and take a look at other historic examples, like the predictions proposed by William Miller. It looks a little haunting. William, you know, if he said anything to me, I'd be like, okay, William, the world's gonna end tomorrow. Face.
What was the one from 2012? That was the Mayan calendar, right?
Thank you, William. William was a clergyman that had become obsessed with the Bible after returning from fighting in the Battle of Plattsburgh in
Aztec calendar?
1814. Just want to show maybe a picture of it.
No, show some footage.
Oh, there's 2000. Yeah, there's the year 2000, 2012.
Yeah, shows footage.
Do you think if humans are still alive in the year 2999, there's going to be like a movement that the world's going to end on the year 3000? I wonder if humans will still be that stupid. Yeah, why 3K?
Of the Battle of Plattsburgh in 1814, when cameras were definitely around. Crazy stuff. He found himself particularly fascinated with the concept of Christ's return, aka he had PTSD and he might have been a schizophrenic. After seeing people die, you know what's kind of wild? Jesus coming back, right, guys? Okay, William. He became responsible for creating the Protestant religion movement known as Millerism, aka the followers of the belief that the second coming of Christ would occur sometime between March 21st, 1843 and March 21st, 1844. God, in that realm, right? This movement became popular.
But where do they get these dates from? Just like random scripture passages that they interpret in like a poetic way? Like, how are they getting this specific year?
Amassing an estimated 100,000 followers that were convinced that the world was nearing its end. They were strong in their beliefs despite being ridiculed and harassed by their peers. Which, dude, for those 3 decades, you must have been living so tall. Keep it counting, boys. Oh, you guys don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Uh-huh. Yeah.
This is like a common theme with all of these. They get it wrong. They're like, no, wait, it's the other date.
Yeah, it'll always be like a month later. What was that one religious guy? He was like decrepit, dude. He looked like a raisin. He was like 95. And he kept predicting the wrong date. And he was like, oh, I actually did my math wrong. I forgot this one passage about 73 fishes.
I have to add that onto the top, and then you actually have to add like another 10 years just like to make sure. So it's like, honestly, it'll probably be like around here, not this date. It's going to be another like month or two after. Harold Camping. Yeah, he would randomly start adding numbers just out of like, he would be like, well, this passage has the number 83 in it.
Because you're delusional. Because they believe it, and then they're like, oh, it was probably a mix-up. You put your whole belief system in that. It's really quite sad, Nick. During one event, William was egged by an audience member during one of his speeches, and I bet that insane.
He was egged by like a 15-year-old.
Him over the edge. In the span of just a few years, people prepared for this event by selling most of their belongings and turning their—
Oh wait, no, this is, oh my God, no, he was egged in the 1800s. This is just a video of a guy getting egged by a 15-year-old.
by an audience member during one of his speeches.
What the hell am I thinking?
And I bet that sent him over the edge. In the span of just a few years, people prepared for this event by selling most of their belongings and turning their backs on their responsibilities. By March 21st,
Why are they selling shit, though? Like, what is the point of selling shit? You have to have a shred of doubt if you're selling it. Like, just give it away.
1844, nothing had happened. The date would be moved to April 18th, only for it to fail once more. The last date proposed by William was October 22nd. On the day of, tons of people still believed in William. They put on their white ascension robes and climbed to the highest places available to them to await the second coming. Not only did this prove to be fruitless, but it led to a period known as the Great Disappointment, where people wept endlessly over their hopes being shattered alongside a—
I need somebody to help me up to my chamber as my natural strength was leaving me very fast, and I lay prostrate for 2 days without any pain, sick with disappointment.
wave of mockery from people asking, why haven't you ascended yet? First off, as soon as if William came in, if William the dog came in trying to eat his own face and handing out white robes, I'd be like, you gotta get out of this motherfucker.
Why? Robes are fancy.
Robes are cool, but if it's in religious context, robes are not cool. Yeah, we're just gonna put on these robes and go to the mountain. I'd be like, might have picked the wrong batch, is what I'd say.
Or then like higher price. Yeah, they won't sell it once because like even if like, it's not enough for one.
Like that looks pretty good. That dude, that kind of has like a kielbasa, like a cooked sausage crisp to it, like right there.
Portion. One portion, not person. Well, unless you're really crazy. Love that you can eat it the whole trip because they're gonna chop it, like diced it.
What's in its butthole?
So one duck is
Why was its butthole like open?
75,000.
75. This one, right?
But one bat,
$450 for a duck or a bat? Rather have a duck.
one big bat can be the same price.
Okay, so like it's like very common to find a bat, but it's more difficult to like get the bat.
The bat.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
That makes
Why is
sense,
it
I
more
guess.
expensive?
So it's kind of like a delicacy. You get less meat, but you're paying for a bit more premium meat.
Correct. Yeah. It's considered like what premium, the bat.
And even a rat, like 3 rats is 100,000.
Yeah.
So you could get.
Yeah, what the fuck? A duck, an entire duck's $450. 3 rats is $6.
You could get more than a duck for the price.
Oh my God, they're alive right now.
Of 3 rats.
Like 1.5 ducks.
1.5 ducks.
I'm gonna scan this video. I hope they don't kill the duck on the video. I don't think they would show that.
What would you prefer to eat, guys? 1 duck or 3 rats? Those
A duck.
are your options. Hello. Oh my God, they have rats. Wow. Oh, they love it. And these guys, where did they come from?
That's from Klabat's northern part. It's about like 2 hours from here.
And so they just brought this in to sell it today?
Ini beli sendiri atau misalnya? Oh yeah, they hunt them and some is they hunt them, some they get it from whoever in the village they sell.
Got it.
These are not city rats that you might be picturing scurrying around the Surs. These are white-tailed forest rats, one of the many semi-arboreal rat species that are native here to Sulawesi. I didn't really know what that meant either. It's kind of like they spend a lot of their time at night in the trees, and then they burrow back down into the dirt during the day. And they are hunted all over Sulawesi. Here,
Yo, he's got thermal vision. This motherfucker's a sniper in the woods right now. Oh my God.
Here they are a delicacy. They're not cheap at all in this part of the world. They sell for
Dude, they're fucking expensive as shit.
100,000 rupiah for 3. You can pick up just about any other meat here for less than that. Chicken, duck, pork, you name it. But come Christmas, Easter, the demand for rat just surges.
And it's like almost a special occasion dish.
Correct, yeah.
But it's also like everyday fare.
You can be an everyday fare whenever, like, because it's like one of the only places in North Sulawesi that has selling all these kind of things.
But no turkeys.
No what?
Turkey?
We don't even know what Turkish is.
For farmers,
Yo, low-key, for fucking Thanksgiving, I feel like I would try rat one time instead of a fuck-ass turkey. Just a whole fucking turkey, dude. Just fucking dripping. Dripping, sitting there. It's fucking dry as shit, even if it's fucking wet. Dude, even if it looks wet, you fucking bite into it and makes that while you're chewing it. It's disgusting. I hate eating turkey.
they're also thieves. These things raid the crops. They get into the cacao, the coconuts.
Oh, so it's good they're killing them too.
So hunting them becomes this kind of strange overlap. It's part pest control, it's protein, and it's a cash source wrapped all in one. And apparently they are hunted in every way you can imagine. Shotguns, air rifles, snares, dogs. It is just all fair game.
Shotgun? I feel like you're fucking blowing that thing into red mist if you shoot a fucking rat with a 12 gauge. Are you hitting it with bird shot so it just peppers him?
And so, inevitably, I find myself adding this to the list immediately. It's time for another rat hunt.
Trying to click. Alright guys, we're about to head deep into the Sulawesi jungles. Tonight's prey, or target prey at least, is rats. Just like the ones we saw at the market, the whitetail, apparently they taste pretty damn good. We've eaten the bats already, we've eaten the pythons already. Rat was the final kind of piece of this like Sulawesi mad market combination. So, rat hunting, Sulawesi style.
I feel like out of those three, I'd most want to try snake. Like, I would try a python.
I see some air guns. Let's see how this goes down. I don't know if you guys can see anything. I'm gonna have to do this Blair Witch Project style view. We're off. I don't know how quiet we have to be or anything. We're just parking the motorbikes here in the jungle. But we're gonna start trekking. We're already pointing at signs. And we're up in the trees. So maybe we're after some kind of like tree rat. I just don't know. That's the problem.
So we start just clocking miles down this main road. It's sort of like a supply trail into thick jungle, but there are sort of plantations of cacao and coffee dotted along the way. And whenever we find a promising spot, basically a tree with some fruit.
Dude, I'd just be so I mean, I got bit by a tick in the woods and got a fucking rare meat disease. I feel like if I'm in the jungle in Indonesia, bro, I'm gonna be like, yo, some shit's gonna fucking bite me and I'm gonna swallow up like a fucking melon and die. Something's gonna fucking latch onto my neck and bite me and I'm gonna get some sort of disease that's gonna fucking kill me. Like, that would worry me. That I wouldn't even be worried about. Like, being with these guys, I'd be like, yeah, okay, I'm not gonna die to like a fucking animal, but I'd be like, dude, some bug's gonna fucking bite me and that's gonna be hell. Mosquitoes? Well, I know when you go to certain countries with like diseases that they have elsewhere that are transmitted by bugs, you have to get vaccinated before you go.
We start just trying to call in the rat.
Alright guys, we are weaving our way through some much thicker scrub right now, heading up this hill. It's kind of like...
What the fuck was that noise? He's perfected the rat call.
I mean, I don't know if I'd call it thick jungle, but it's thicker. We don't need machetes or anything like that. There's definitely an old trail here, but it hasn't been used in a long, long time. That's for damn sure. Hopefully there's some rats to make this worth it.
Must be like a horror game for rats. I think life is a horror game for any animal that isn't a human. And even some humans. If you're an animal that is not predatory, you're a prey animal, your life is a horror game. You will never die of old age. You will always die a gruesome death. Like, genuinely think about it. Maybe a few would have like a heart attack or some shit and die. But, like, mostly all animals that are prey just at some point either get eaten and die or they survive long enough to where they start getting really old, can't function anymore, get eaten, and die. Oh, he's about to clip his ass. I didn't know they climb up trees. I feel like I shouldn't show him shooting it.
Oh, there he goes. Oh, there we go. Whoa. It's one fat rat. Oh, let me hold that thing. There we have it. This is like the first jungle rat that we have had come in. They're called like white-tailed rats locally. I do not think these are the same kind of species.
Yo, that thing starts twitching on me. I'm going, oh! All the guys would make fun of me around there. I know it, dude. If it started having death throes.
And certainly they're not eating sitting rats or anything like that. It behaves.
Like it started fucking clawing at me.
It's almost like a possum or something. It is way up there in the trees. We're only scouting the rooftops. So I don't think this is the kind of thing that you're used to seeing in, I don't know.
Oh, no, I would assume they would have lived on the ground. They're all in the fucking tree branches.
Average household. It is one big, gnarly looking thing though. And took a few shots to get it down, but there she is. Look at that. It's like white-tailed, crazy looking creature.
Possum, I would rather eat rat. I would rather eat rat and snake, maybe bat over possum. I think out of any animal, possums would taste probably bottom 5. They are like sewer gross animals. Like they don't live in the sewer, but they're disgusting. Like possums live in their own filth. They fucking play dead. They're like the only North American marsupial. Their kids like latch onto their back. They're always covered in like fucking poop. It's disgusting.
That's essentially the process. Put in some miles, find a promising spot, put in a call and see if you hear something back or see some movement.
We spotted a little one, but they don't shoot him. They want him to grow into a big fat rat for eating later. And we do this trick where we keep turning off the lights and trying to call, but failing so far.
But it's fun. Along the way, we're taking stops, quick smoke breaks, swapping a few stories, and then just getting back on the move.
Hi guys, it's break time. We have one rat down, and I'm telling you, there's a lot of work for one rat. Like this is some thick ass jungle at points. We've been through, I don't know, thick, almost like scrubby stuff. We've been through large elephant grass. We've been
Why don't they breed them? I feel like rats fuck like crazy now. Same thing with like rabbits. Like, why don't you like just capture like fucking 10 of them and then breed them?
The cacao trees here are everywhere, but nearly every pod that we passed has been ripped open, destroyed by the rats. It's pretty clear that these things aren't just food, they're also a problem. So the local farmers love it when these hunters are out and about trying to get
so it is. Yeah, I forgot. It's like a pest control thing.
rid of them. Push on past old farmhouses, stopping along the way every now and then to gather mushrooms and nuts that we might use for cooking later.
Hey guys, I think we've come to a clearing. I can hear the river just like raging behind us, so we've started to sort of collect small branches and trees. I think the deal is I make up some plates, and I don't really know how we're going to cook up these rats. I suppose we need a fire.
To begin the cooking process, the rats...
I would be so nervous to start a fucking controlled fire in the middle of a jungle. Like, I know I would burn that shit to the ground.
We have 2 rats just kind of roasting on sticks over this fire right now, deep in the Sulawesi jungle.
And they roast away until every last hair has kind of been singed off. And at this point, you could probably just eat them right away. But we've got a fair bit more prep to go because these guys take even their jungle meals pretty seriously.
These guys are blackened to a crisp and they are cooking away.
Now that the rat is cooked, they get large sections of bamboo, just really wide chunks of it, and start beating it into strips with a machete. They leave just enough fiber in between the different strips to hold it together, and it can be sort of unrolled.
Oh my god, are they gonna like... Wait. Are they gonna, like, oven bake the fucking rats? Like, over the flame? Maybe not.
Tree branches are then lashed together with vines, the bamboo mat.
Or like rotisserie, they're making like a makeshift fucking rotisserie thing.
Is laid on top.
Oh, no.
Some banana leaves are added, and
I'm guessing terribly.
you've got this kind of really cool setup, this jungle table of sorts. Meanwhile, 4 short sections of branch are hammered into the ground beside the fire to form a stand that's going to hold a pot for cooking rice. Another section of bamboo is used to sort of split open, creating these large water containers and a makeshift chopping board along the way.
This looks so complex. Oh, I think it is going to be like not like an oven, but they're doing like, I think they're trying to transfer some of the I guess the taste from, they said, the banana leaves to the rats.
On the table.
Maybe package it up.
Oh, it's like a little chopping board. It's genius.
The rats are chopped into pieces, they're given a good rinse to just wash off that ash. Then we begin preparing the rest of the meal. They slice shallots, local herbs, lemongrass, and toss in some mushrooms that we gathered along the way earlier. Chilies and garlic.
Turns out they're hallucinogenic.
Garlics are mashed together in this rough.
That'd be an experience, dude. You're like, oh, yo, actually, rat's not that bad. Why do you have 3 eyes?
Wild mushroom salad going on the side. This chili mix spread out on top.
Oh, yeah, dude. They're doing a whole fucking buffet.
Kind of a wild dressing, but I'm digging it. Fireside. If you were telling me I was going to be eating this in the Sulawesi jungle not that long ago, I wouldn't have believed you. This looks pretty damn good.
And everything just kind of gets mixed together with a pinch of salt. And I sort of thought this was it. It was kind of like some jungle rat salad. But no, there's more cooking ahead also.
Yo, I gotta say, I could get behind the rat eating, chat. I could get behind it. I think the bat was a no-go for me. The skin looked disgusting, but the rat doesn't look that bad. I think because they already took out all the organs, and they're just, like, roasting the meat. So it's just meat, and they're doing, like, crazy-ass... Dude, they're, like, doing all their own handmade rice. They're doing fucking all these herbs and spices they're throwing in. They foraged mushrooms.
Every
long day till you're fucking starving.
Is then pushed into these long, thin bamboo tubes. Those are set against a rack that's made next to the fire.
2 a.m.
They lost me.
Sulawesi jungle. Tired as hell. Just want to eat some rat meat. Go to sleep.
And after about another 15-20 minutes, this elaborate meal is finally ready to eat.
I don't know. That makes me not like it anymore. The like aggressively like pushing it out of the tube and it just making that like plop noise.
I know, in fact, that this is standard Indonesian jungle fare. We have this crazy rat salad cooked in bamboo.
As long as they didn't do the bamboo thing, I would eat it. I would try it either way. Oh, you're going the whole fucking day. You're rat hunting, bro. I would have to taste it.
I don't know. Maybe it's like a rat curry. We're gonna see how it's done. Oh, this looks good with these guys going in for it. All right, these guys are loving it. Usually I ditch the hands thing, but we are hardcore going primal in Indonesian
like,
jungle.
what is that? Is that like its torso?
Kind of like stomach section of rat here. It has intestines inside it. There's a
No, I thought they took them out.
First thing hits you. That is smoky and that is spicy. Wow, I think I need the rice to cut that. It's salty as well. The flavor itself of the meat is surprisingly hard to get, at least on that initial bite. Let me try and get another bit. Once you get through that outer crust that's kind of formed from the blackening, it really is pretty good. It reminds me a lot of squirrel. Again, I think these things pretty much are squirrels living up in the trees. These guys are really chowing down. They're like moving coal quick.
Damn, do people eat squirrels a lot too? I know people eat squirrels. I've never seen somebody eat a squirrel though either.
This half the stable's already vanished. We're gonna try to find one more bit. Maybe, oh, there you go. Look at that leg. It's got to have way more meat on it. That's much more chewy. It has like almost like a, maybe like a duck would be like a decent comparison. It's like a dark, red, chewy meat. It's not fatty at all, not like many of the kind of farmed rats that I've had. Man, yeah, I mean, that's really good. That's genuinely really, really good. It's a ton of effort. I'm not sure it's worth the 3 hours trekking, having to hunt these
Yeah, I don't know about 3 hours to get fucking 3 rats worth of food.
things out of the trees, cooking them yourselves. I definitely just go to Tomahawk
Could have just gone to the market, bought them for $6.
Market, buy 300,000. Best deal out there. Check it out if you're ever in town, guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah, if I'm ever in town, I'll definitely go to the meat market and grab the 3 rat pack.
Jungle rats, pretty good.
Coba lihat di kamera, anggaplah nggak ada kamera.
Oh, these guys love it. All right, now swing.
That was such a fun video to watch. Like that took some turns I did not think it would take. When it was just the meat market, I was like, oh, they're probably gonna sell like poisonous animal. No, it's just bats. Bats and rats. Chat, I gotta piss real quick, then we're hopping to the next. For language, there might have been some sort of sentience and a feeling of like dread, and it's kind of unexplainable. And then now they're able to put it to words once they have language capabilities, like generations down. And then there had to be a first guy that's like, wait, what are humans? Like, what are we?
The fire from last night is still smoldering. Someone adds wood. You eat leftover meat or fish from yesterday. Maybe some nuts or berries collected the day before. Breakfast is social. People talk. They plan loosely for the day. Not because they have.
If there was no language, did they have inner voice? No, because your inner voice would be what the language you spoke is. So it'd be more animalistic and emotional based, maybe image based, like imagery in your brain. But earlier languages, it started out as like, you could look into like how languages begin. Written language is a lot more complex in how I try to understand it. Like when we had to do this for like some fucking class I took. But it's like earlier humans, it started out as like just base grunts and like kind of emotional communication. And then it was more like common terms where they didn't have sentences that could string together. But if they said a phrase, like they would know like, meant fucking deer or some shit. That was a bad explanation. But like they had a common shared term for something. And then they got better at signing to each other if they had to be quiet. Like, oh, go over here. So they knew how to point and stuff. And then you start connecting that over thousands of years of like shared knowledge and what you're giving down to your kids. Eventually they're able to talk like we are in like a stringed way. They're able to more complexly or more in a complicated way share how they feel or how they think.
Because that's what humans do. Around mid-morning, a small group might leave to hunt or gather.
Because, like, you get what I'm saying very rapidly, but if you break down every word of every sentence that I'm saying, it's like, it's correlated with some sort of meaning, right? You just get it because you've spoken English for your whole life or most of your life, or, like, you understand English fluently. But, like, if you're able to break down every term, it's like, oh, it's its own unique thing, obviously, with its own definition. This is a no shit moment. Somebody in chat say, no shit, Joe Bart, you're a dumbass, you're LARPing. What was I saying? Like, that, it's just that over thousands of years just slowly combined. Boom, 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 boom. We need a word for this. Let's name it. Blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, no shit. I never understand how they put, like, an alphabet to something. Like, or earlier, like, Egyptian language makes more sense to me. Like, the idea of having symbols that correlate with image in your mind. You know, having like a Latin root, yeah, or like a fucking vowel. Like a vowel was the biggest thing in written language. Is like A-E-I-O-U, being able to like connect phrases in that way, because it's like what we're saying makes sense, but when you read a language, it's so verbally different. That's how you have people that are illiterate. It's because you can understand a language verbally, but like writing it down, it's you know English as a language in 2 different ways. You know Spanish as a language in 2 different ways. Like, you could learn Japanese and never be able to read it. because it's like you actually know two different modes of communication.
Here's the key. You don't go every day. If the hunt was successful 2 days ago and food is stored, you might not leave camp at all. You might spend the morning working on tools, sharpening a spear, weaving a basket, scraping an animal hide to make it soft and usable. This isn't...
And that's why it's like, it's always based off of something. It's usually based off of vocal, like written language is based off vocal language. But for somebody that's like deaf that learns ASL is its own unique language that isn't correlated to spoken English. It's like its own fucking thing. They still understand both, but like somebody that is deaf reads, say, written English and also is able to communicate with American Sign Language.
Work in the modern sense. There's no clock, no supervisor. You do it because competence matters, because being skilled earns respect, because making things well is part of being human. If hunting happens, it's not the frantic chase you see in movies. Humans are persistence hunters. We track animals at a steady jog for hours until they overheat and collapse. We're the only species that can do this effectively because we can sweat and regulate our body temperature while running. Most animals can't. So we outlast them. The hunt might take 3 to 6 hours, including travel. Then the animal is carried back.
Or even when they had the hunt for exhaustion, yeah, might take that long. But even if you have an instance where they have bow and arrows and they shoot one, they might shoot a moose. Like if you're an earlier human, you shoot a fucking big ass animal. You hit a kill shot, but now you just kind of have to follow the moose around for fucking 9 hours till it collapses. Because you can't rush at it because it'll kill you. But you just have to wait from afar for it to fucking die and bleed out.
And by early afternoon, the productive part of the day is essentially over. What happens next is what modern people find hardest to understand. Nothing and everything. People rest. They sit in the shade and talk. They play with children. They groom each other, picking through hair, reinforcing bonds. They make...
If you're an earlier human, your chill time is the equivalent of being just like a more evolved ape creature.
Jewelry from shells or beads or animal teeth. They carve designs into bones or stones. They nap. Anthropologist James Sussman documented that among the Zhuangzi, adults spend roughly 6 hours per day in what he called social time. Not working, not sleeping, just being with other people, talking, laughing, telling jokes, because in a world without money or police or written contracts, your survival depends entirely on your relationships. If people don't like you...
Yeah, but like when was there a fully spoken language where people were communicating in that way? What was the earliest spoken language? Well, I don't want to say an official language. It's impossible to know the first language ever spoken, true. Spoken languages leave no physical artifacts. Linguists estimate human speech emerged between 50,000 and 150,000 years ago, long before the invention of writing. Yeah, because written, that's where you're going to know is through written shit. Like Sumerians dating roughly back to 3400 BC, widely considered the oldest known written language. But even then, so say like 50,000 years ago, they had a definitive language they spoke to each other. Yeah, they just fucking chopped it up, just fucked around. But, like, what stories is there to do, you know? Because, like, when you hang out with your friends, you guys live different lives. You meet up. You have stories to share, things to talk about. If you're in a hunter-gatherer society with 8 people that you live with on a daily basis and you are around them all day, every day, like, what is there to talk about? You're not giving each other hypotheticals. You're not having fun, like, ooh, what ifs? What do you think about this, oh, pop culture stuff. It's all just about, like, chilling and fucking, oh, food. Maybe that's where, like, earlier religions and, like, beliefs took place because they would talk about that. Like, what do you think? Like, philosophical shit, but, like, more surface level. But I feel like it'd be like very shallow conversations, yeah.
They don't have to share food when you're hungry. So you invest enormous amounts of time in those bonds. Not because it's productive, because...
They took shrooms and got geeked? I mean, we watched a video about that. Yeah, earlier ancient humans did get fucked up all the time.
Because it's how humans stay human. Then the sun sets, and this is when something remarkable happens. In 2014, anthropologist Polly Wiesner analyzed hundreds of hours of conversation recordings from the Zhuangzi. During the day, conversations were practical. Who saw animal tracks where? Which plants were ready for harvest? Complaints about someone not sharing fairly. But at night, around the fire, 81% of conversations shifted to stories. Myths about how the world began, tales of ancestors who did impossible things, jokes that made everyone laugh, adventures from far away. Wiesner argued that this is where human culture was actually born. Gods, spirits, the past, the future. Things you can only think about when your stomach is full and you're safe. And people didn't go to sleep and stay asleep the way you do now. Historical records from medieval...
I mean, yeah, even earlier, like, more, like, philosophers in the thinkers sense were all just rich people, bro. like Plato and all those guys, like it was very rare you'd have a philosopher in like early Greek times not be just filthy rich. Because if you weren't rich, you were working and you didn't have time to fucking sit on your ass and think about life for like endless amounts of time. So it's, yeah, during free time is when people have those thoughts.
Europe and sleep studies from the 1990s confirmed that before artificial light, humans slept in 2 phases. First sleep for about 4 hours, then a wakeful period of 1 to 2 hours in complete darkness, then second sleep for another 4 hours. So here's what
I feel like that's how I live regularly. I feel like that is kind of just how I wake up at like, fall asleep, wake up 4 hours later, can't fall asleep for another hour, pass out.
a full day looked like.
And the whole time I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn, I could just like start my day. But then I'm like, oh, I'm just going to crash 5 hours from now.
About 4 to 6 hours securing food or making tools. About 6 hours in social interaction, storytelling, grooming, playing. About 8 hours sleeping in 2 separate phases, and the rest resting, sitting, watching clouds, doing nothing in particular.
Oh my God, having a fucking posted up Minecraft spawn. Holy shit. Living in just like a dope ass field on a beach, in a cave, in a mountain with a view.
Existing without needing to justify your existence through productivity. Then, about 10,000 years ago, something changed. Humans in the Fertile Crescent began planting seeds and domesticating animals. Agriculture. And agriculture is a trap. Once you start farming, you can feed more people. More people means you need more food. More food means more farming. Within a few generations, populations exploded and there was no going back. Because now there were too many mouths to survive by hunting and gathering. You were locked in, and farming required far more labor. Plowing, planting, weeding, harvesting, storing, defending crops from animals and raiders. The skeleton.
But that's the only reason any of us are alive. Like, if we didn't have agriculture and mass population growth, none of us would exist because your parents would have never met and your parents' parents would have never met. Like, there would be people and humans still on Earth, but they would all be very localized populations of hunter-gatherers that stayed in that circle for thousands of years. Like, if you have like, maybe your parents were in the same area, but, like, your grandparents might be from 2 different countries. Like, and then their grandparents are from a different area. Like, you would have never had people intermingle, like, culture-wise or race. Like, if you're mixed, like, especially that. Like, if you're, like, half black, half Caucasian, there would have been 0 chance your ancestors would have fucking met without agriculture.
Early farmers worked harder, ate worse, and died younger than the hunter-gatherers who came before them. But the population kept growing, and with larger populations came specialists, toolmakers, potters, weavers, inventors, then soldiers, priests, administrators, and eventually jobs, employment. The idea that your time belonged to someone else in exchange for resources. By the time we built cities, the original human lifestyle was gone, replaced by schedules, obligations, the need to work most of your waking hours just to survive in the system we created. Today, you spend 90,000 hours working.
And it's a constant loop of return to increase production. Like, any surplus of goods is reinvested into the system to grow the system. Like, we're constantly serving the future rather than the present. Anything that you do that's like, oh, this is more efficient, now we could do this. No, let's, like, we watched a video about that with factories. Like, if you're able to, like, more effectively produce energy, instead of just making energy cheaper, you just make more shit that needs energy. Like, that's why prices of that stuff never go down. Because whenever we get better at making something, you just make more things that need that shit. Because now we'll just keep that at like a stagnant $2. We'll make it more efficient, and then we'll add more stuff. So you have more luxuries, but those luxuries never get cheaper.
Your ancestors spent way less. You sleep in 1 block and call waking up at 2 a.m. insomnia. They slept in 2 phases and used the middle hours for reflection. You spend your life chasing an illusion of greatness, achievements, wealth, and success by standards society invented. They woke up every morning already free, already enough, and at peace with nothing to prove to anyone. They didn't need to become successful. They were already living the life you're...
Yeah, I wonder if there was like a level of, like, what level of depression existed within earlier humans. I don't think it was ever depression. I think there was higher rates of anxiety. Like, that's what I think existed more. I think depression was very far and few between in earlier humans, and it was almost certainly just full-on anxiety. because you're just worried about dying. Worried about dying, worried about the future. Your fucking leg's injured. You're bleeding out. You have an infection. Like that type of shit.
Working your entire existence to retire into. You make art if you can find time after your job.
Like you trade freedom for safety in modern society. Like the freedom of this era was better, but it's like you could die at any time. There's no net to catch you.
Made art because they had time, and that's what humans do. We're not a different species, but we live so differently from how humans lived for 99% of our existence that we might as well be. We traded freedom for food security, leisure for population growth, time for productivity, and most of us have no idea what we gave up, because we never knew it was there.
You think somebody said you think they gambled? Maybe, but I don't know, dude. Imagine being the first guy that made a casino. Holy fucking printing. You're the first guy that invented, like, blackjack, and you're the house. Fuck. You probably raked in money, man. Going to the OG slots. Well, not even the OG slots, bro. Those were, like, glitchable. I'm just saying you're the first dude that invented, like, a roulette wheel. Bet on it. And you're just the house. Infinite money glitch. Legitimately. But everybody would hate you. All right. I have to go piss. And then we'll hop into the last video. Old horror movies. Before it even starts. Old horror movies in what sense? Like old Dracula? Dog shit. Dog shit film. The earliest horror movies were terrible. Jump scares were bad. And people were shitting their pants over literally the least scary thing possible. But the era of slashers, Jason, Scream, or Friday the 13th, Scream, Ghostface, you know, Freddy Krueger, awesome. I will say, though, I wasn't a big fan of Nightmare on Elm Street. I've seen, like, almost every, like, type of slasher film. Not a lot of the Jason films, but I've seen almost every Scream movie. I think I've seen every Michael Myers movie, or Halloween, rather. But I did not like Nightmare on Elm Street. Leatherface is kind of lame.
You know, as much as I love them, horror movies nowadays,
Texas Chainsaw's goated.
Just don't hit the same. But is this true? Are horror movies from the...
No, horror movies hit more than they ever have. I think horror movies today would actually kill people in the 80s. I'm so serious. Like, yes, The Conjuring isn't modern, but even like newer horror films, like a Blumhouse movie or some shit, I think I would love to teleport back to the 90s when people were like getting ready to watch fucking Scream or some shit. And then throw on fucking what is the most scary? What is the scariest movie of all time? It's not Conjuring. Oh my God, he has tapes in his attic. I've seen the movie. No, it's not Terrifier. Sinister. Sinister is supposed to be like the scariest film ever, based on heart rate. Like scientifically, I think Sinister is the scariest film ever made. When they did an experiment, they tested people's heart rate. And, like, it had a lower peak heart rate, but the average heart rate of somebody watching Sinister was, like, 120 or something. Like, you're just stressed out the whole fucking movie. It's not even scary. I agree. I think it's more of a stressful film. I didn't think Sinister was that scary. I think Conjuring is the scariest movie I've ever seen. Disturbing Terrifier.
The 70s, 80s, and 90s really better or scarier? Well, that's what we'll find out today. Today, ladies and gents, I'll be going over a few horror movies from back in the good old days to not only figure out how well they hold up, but to answer that question. Are retro or vintage or old horror movies really better? Are they? I'd like to know.
Dude, they're very predictable. That's the only problem. So they're kind of like comfort films in a sense, even if you've never seen them, but they're so predictable. If you're watching a Jason film, there's going to be a naked woman. She's going to take her top off. She's going to be the first one to die. Almost always. The virgin lives. The virgin lives almost always as well. And that's like, for some reason, a part of every horror movie. And, every Jason film, it'll just be like, oh, wait. Oh, sorry. Let's go skinny dipping. It's like, what? And then fucking Jason is watching from the distance. Kills you.
And in the end, I'll go over one of the oldest horror movies ever to see how it holds up over a century.
Nosferatu.
Century later. Yeah, a century. And the first one I got up is called...
Nosferatu came out in fucking 1920. Slumber Party Massacre. Guarantee you there's probably like 8 topless women in this film. I've never seen it.
Now, some of you may know this one, and some of you may just read the title and think, Slumber Party Massacre? That sounds a lot like Texas Chainsaw. I know what it sounds like. And I'm gonna get to that one too. I'm doing this one first though. Slumber Party Massacre is a 1982 movie where we follow a group of girls who, unbeknownst to them, are being stalked by a serial killer. And I gotta say this now, if it's something these old movies had, it was that nudity, bro. Like, my goodness, did I click the wrong movie? Either that or I just stumbled upon a lost episode of Euphoria, because dang, that's a lot of butt, bro. But yeah, we follow
And out of nowhere too. Like it'll just be like, oh, let's take our tops off. What?
A group of girls who are being stalked by a serial killer.
What? You ever watch a sex scene with your parents? Bottom 3 experiences.
Who uses a drill as
bottom 3 experiences. You feel the silence. You feel the silence.
His weapon, a drill.
So awkward.
And since they don't realize they're being stalked, they set up a sleepover like it's a normal night. They ordered pizza, gossip. They even broke out the dub pack. Don't do drugs, y'all. But what they ain't know is that it only made it easier for the killers to catch them lacking. And so the girls have to try and survive the night before the killer could turn this slumber party into a massacre. And I'm gonna keep it a buck. I've only seen this movie once, but I think this movie holds up. I think it does. The characters are likable and realistic, which you...
What's the horror movie where the guy controls bees? Oh my God, what is the name of that film? Somebody knows. He controls bees. Candyman. Yeah.
Can't say about every single horror movie.
I've never seen... I see clips of Candyman.
Movie. Like, they're not just some...
Never seen that movie. I always get so confused when I read the description. I'm like, what do you mean he controls bees?
No personality dummies who are just there to die. The killer is actually scary. I mean, have y'all ever seen a dude whose main weapon is something you can only find at Home Depot? Like, what? And then they even had some funny moments. It's a good movie. I mean, this is 1982. This is the same year Thriller came out. Of course it's gonna be good. And I know it's not the massacre horror movie people usually think about, but I just wanted to show this one some love because I feel like nobody talks about it. And don't worry, I'm gonna get to the one you're thinking about. But first I gotta talk about...
I have never heard of any of these films. Carrie? Wait, what's the one movie where there's that really... Is it Carrie? There's like a really creepy scene at the end. Oh my God. It's like the movie's not scary and then there's a scary twist. Is it Carrie? Somebody help. Somebody help. It's like a woman and she's facing... Is that Carrie? Carrie movie... A Carrie ending scene. No, it is not Carrie. Oh my God. No, it's like their sleepaway camp. It might be sleepaway camp. Ending scene. I'm going to show you guys the scene. It's so disturbing. Oh my God, it is this. So disturbing.
Angela!
Wait, where? I only can show like a small snippet. Oh, it's so fucking weird. Just the face she makes. Imagine watching this like 2 in the morning.
How can it be?
Terrifying. Terrifying. Oh my God. Scary as shit, dude. It's like a skinwalker or something. It just starts going for like 3 minutes. It's not scary, it's uncanny. I think uncanny shit's the scariest. Oh my God. There was one movie I watched in 8th grade as a part of class, and it was super fucking scary. Again, we're going to do another game where I describe the movie and you tell me what it is because I don't remember it. They suck your body, pause. They kill you, create a clone of you, and when they find you, they go like this. And then they kill you again. It's not Barbarian. What is that movie? Invasion of the Body Snatchers. Chat's so good at this. Super scary film. Super scary film. And they don't really use, like, that much. It's like a 1980 film, but it's like, dude, every monster, you don't know if somebody's, like, it. And then when they find you, they all just point at you and scream. Oh, I gotta rewatch that.
Next movie I got up.
That was a good fucking movie.
Up is Carrie from 1976. Notable things that happened this year. Red M&M's got removed from the bag, and Ryan Reynolds was born. Now, I had never seen this movie before I thought of making this video. I heard of it because it's insanely popular, but I had never seen it until today. And I'm gonna say it now, this movie caught me off guard, because watching it, you wouldn't think it's a horror movie at all, up until the end. So in Carrie, we follow a girl named Carrie. Shocker. She's a quiet and shy high school senior with an extremely religious mother. I'll get to that in a second. Who's sort of an outcast at school. She gets bullied, like, a lot. And we see how bad this bullying gets when one day while they're in the locker room, and I'm sorry. I know I'm still introducing this one and I said it with the last movie, but these old movies really had that nudity. Like, I can't even show a single clip of this locker room scene because it's just straight Tata's butt and bush, bro. You know that's how they rocked it back then. Y'all gonna have to start questioning y'all grandparents.
Bro, I used to rewatch that one scene from Harold and Kumar. Oh my God, bro. I remember when I was a kid and I found that movie. That shit was crazy. I mentioned that there's a bottomless party in the Harold and Kumar go to Guantanamo Bay, and dude, it's just like straight bush. You're a gooner, bro. No, like, chat. I remember my mom would be like going to work. I'd be like, can I rent this movie? She's like, you've seen it 3 times. I'm like, I just really love that movie. Just straight fast forward to that scene. Just rewatch it over and over again, bro. Oh my God, I had to be 10 years old. I'd be 10 years old, maybe. Oh my God, I don't even think she knew what the movie was about. I was like, it's just a comedy film. It's Harold and Kumar.
Why were they so freaked out? But yeah, as I was saying, we see exactly how bad the bullying gets when one day while she's in the locker room taking a shower, Carrie out of nowhere gets her first period. And since her mom never told her what a period is, again, I'll get to that in a second, she starts tweaking. And instead of helping her while she panics, all the other girls in the locker room just start throwing tampons and pads at her. Man, I know I've said it.
How closeted of a person would you have to be to not know what a period is? To like full panic when you get it and then like, that's crazy.
This was before when I went over the black
cock meat sandwich. Yeah, that's in Harold and Kumar. Somebody said a child, question mark? Well, I'm saying your parents would teach you about that. Like, she has to be like a religiously closeted family for them to not tell her, hey, you're probably going to get a period at some point.
Bullying is bad, but 70s bullying gotta be the dumbest shit I have ever seen. How you gonna bully a girl for something y'all all do? All of y'all. I don't care how crazy she reacted. I'd flip out too if I didn't know I started bleeding on my freaking wee-wee once a month. Thankfully, Carrie's gym teacher, Miss Collins, interferes, telling the other girls to leave Carrie alone. And then she slaps Carrie to calm her down. I'm telling y'all, the 70s was wildin'. But amidst all this chaos, we saw 2 very important things happen. One, while Carrie was panicking about her period, for some reason this light bulb completely shattered. Like, completely. Unless she was hitting some high notes or something, that's a little odd. And 2, we see one of the girls who was bullying Carrie, Sue, start to actually feel bad for her. In fact, she felt so bad that the next day when the gym teacher's punching the girls by making them do all these exercises, she doesn't complain at all. That wasn't the case for everyone though, because this girl Chris was pissed about it. She didn't think they deserved to be punished like this, much less over bullying Carrie. So she confronts the gym teacher, you know, give her a piece of my mind.
Oh!
The 70s wildin'. But yeah, Sue felt very bad. So to make it up to Carrie, she
bro, ain't that crazy that teachers used to be able to hit students?
Decides to ask her boyfriend Tommy to take Carrie to prom instead of her.
Fucking smack the shit out of you. I'd be like, bro, what? Used to? Question mark? Yeah.
Which is just insanely sweet.
I mean, there's people that do it now, but it's not allowed.
Truly, truly selfless. That's exactly why I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. I don't care if it's Jimmy from South Park. You think I'm gonna let you take my...
Zod said I got beat in high... Oh, I was gonna say. Said I'm playing. I was gonna say, you got hit in high school? You're gonna say, bro, you didn't report that shit?
I go to prom just so you can feel better? This ain't like borrowing a pencil, bro. This is my girl. You're not gonna just, I'll give her back to you after prom. No. We're not doing that. I'm sorry. I hope you find a date though. I can do that. But that's what Sue wants to do. So Tommy agrees to ask Carrie, and after saying no the first time, thinking it was some sort of messed up joke, with some encouragement from Miss Collins, Carrie eventually does say yes. She will go to prom with Tommy. But let's not forget, guys, Carrie's mom is extremely religious, like extremely. Like, not only does she never...
How does this turn into a horror film though? Does she like kill her kid?
Never tell Carrie about her period because she believes getting it is a sin? What? But she also locks Carrie in the closet and makes her pray anytime she thinks she's misbehaving. So it's pretty much safe to say she's a bit strict. So when Carrie tells her about going to prom with a boy, it did not go well. They pretty much start arguing back and forth. Carrie saying that she wants to go and that not everything's a sin. Her mother saying she needs to go to the closet and repent. But just like the light bulb situation from earlier, while they're arguing and Carrie grows increasingly frustrated because her mom's not listening and she's walking away from her and... Oh, hell nah. This is when Carrie tells her mom, and us pretty much, that she has telekinesis. Yeah, on top of...
What? What? I thought, what a weird plot twist. I thought this was going to be like, oh, she goes to the prom and the guy kills her or something.
Tells her mom, and us pretty much, that she has telekinesis. Yeah, on top of cramps, turns out her first period gave her access to some supernatural abilities. Anytime Carrie gets upset or concentrates, she can move stuff with her mind. Which is like, alright, my puberty gave me voice cracks and random boners, and she gets superpowers.
Oh my god, bro.
What y'all doing? And
literally just talking, you'd be like, yeah, so I was going the other day.
Carrie's mom was obviously terrified. I'm not gonna lie, I would be too. She tells her it's the devil. The same devil.
Morning Wood, bro. Now that shit was the worst, bro. You're in middle school. You got to give a speech. Not right now. Not right now.
That took your father.
I can't. No.
Away. But Carrie tells her, oh, mama, it wasn't the devil. He just ran off with a woman, mama. I know that low-key hurt. Then she also tells her mama, I'm going to the
Libby, you cannot relate to that.
prom, and you can't stop me. Who is she feeling like? Who? Think you cold, Carrie? You know you cold, Carrie. And so Carrie was going to the prom. We even get a cute montage of her and Tommy getting ready for the prom in their own ways. Carrie makes a dress and learns how to do her makeup. Tommy goes with his...
I had to get up once though. It was so embarrassing. Just pitching a tent. You just... you just stood up and walked into the front of the class.
Friends to get a suit. I'm telling you, you nearly forget this is a horror movie. You see Carrie all excited to go. Her mom is obviously still being a negative Nancy the night of, saying everyone's gonna laugh at her and freaking hitting herself? All right, calm down, lady. But Carrie just sits her down using her mind powers and leaves. And then Carrie and Tommy arrive at the prom. And not only is this the beginning of the end, but this is also where it gets a little sad for me. Not because of anything Tommy did. No, him and Carrie actually had a blast. Carrie talked with Miss Collins, who was very happy for her. Aww. Tommy and Carrie laughed it up and talked about going to an after party. Okay, I was trying to refrain from saying this, but can this dude not be Joe's cousin or something? Joe, if you watching this, am I tripping or can you not be
That
cousins?
does look like me. That does look like me. I don't know who that is though.
Bruh. But yeah, he flirted and danced with her. And he even kissed her. Hey Tommy, don't you got a girl? Scandalous. But knowing everything Carrie has been put through, I couldn't help but just be happy for her. No joke, I was smiling ear to ear watching this.
Grow that hair? Dude, hell no. Chat. I would look like such a dork if I had long curly blonde hair and I'm wearing my gaming headset, bro. I would be on my face. It would not work.
Man, too. I don't care. But then came the prom king and queen voting. And you see, I mentioned this earlier.
Chat, would I rock a man bun? What if I really grew out my hair? Really grew out my hair and I got like a pullback man bun? Like Rhett from Good Mythical Morning.
But while Carrie was over here all excited and getting ready for the prom, there were people who were still upset at her. People who were planning on getting revenge for getting
When does this become a horror movie?
in trouble. Yeah, that girl Chris from earlier, she was still mad. So she concocted a plan to get some payback. After finding out Carrie was gonna go to the prom with Tommy, she enlisted her boyfriend and some friends to swap out
John Travolta
the prom votes to make sure Carrie and Tommy win. So while Carrie and Tommy are on stage being crowned, they had no idea this was all Chris is doing. She had them right where she wanted them. And what makes this worse is that not only did Sue arrive to the prom and see what was about to happen and fail to stop it, but if you thought Carrie was happy before, she was happier than ever now. All that bullying, all that time being an outcast, it was over. She was finally being accepted by her peers. This was probably the happiest moment of her life. But then... Chris spilt a bucket full of pig blood on Carrie. And as Tommy's outraged and confused about who could have done that to Carrie, that very same bucket drops down and kills Tommy? I know that sounds crazy because it's a freaking bucket, but this really killed him, y'all. Kill count said so. After being humiliated once again, having her prom day literally killed in front of her, and being laughed at once again.
A thin metal bucket.
Kind of like her mom said earlier, this was Carrie's final straw. And this is when the horror starts. Carrie closes.
She just starts popping their heads with her eyes.
Closes all the doors, changes the lights to red, and proceeds to murder everyone at the prom. And I mean everyone. She uses a fire hose full pressure to mow down some kids with water. Uses the water from that same hose to electrocute the principal and some other people, which starts a fire. She even kills the one person who always had her back, Miss Collins, by crushing her. This is so messed up and honestly sad, because watching this I want to be happy for Carrie, because you know we seen how she's been treated by her classmates in the school in general, so seeing her get some payback, you know, it feels a little nice. But bro,
All right, it's also kind of a stupid scene that she's just going as like her focusing.
this is overkill. Everyone deserves to die. Everyone? What if like the janitor just walked in for a second? What does he have to do with this? And y'all wanna know what makes
He was deaf.
We got Otto Warmbier back. Like, you see the point I'm trying to make? You see the point? That's all I was just trying to say. Can we lock back in on this poor guy that's dying, right? Like, that's all I was just trying to say is like, why are you giving a speech like it's a fucking victory, bro? Like,
He was taken to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center's Neuroscience Intensive Care Unit, where extensive imaging and diagnostic tests immediately began.
His vital signs were stable upon arrival and have remained so.
He doesn't need...
He was blind, deaf, on a feeding tube, and convulsing violently. Wow.
help breathing, no signs of infection. No.
What do we know why? Do we know why they sent him back? Like, did North Korea just ship him back? Fern didn't fill that. He said the Swedish liaison couldn't contact North Korea. Nothing happened for 17 months, and then randomly they're informed that he's unconscious and he's shipped back to the United States. So what? Like, North Korea, like, almost killed the guy and went, oh, fuck, now this is going to be a problem. We got to send him back.
No dysfunction of non-neurological organs. His neurological condition, though, is described as unresponsive wakefulness,
Oh, were they, like, electrocuting him or something?
what used to be called a vegetative state. He blinks, sometimes his eyes open, but he isn't aware of his surroundings and doesn't respond to verbal commands.
Oh, are you not supposed to say that anymore? I thought that was like a fucking medical term. No, it just says it's unresponsive. A vegetative state or unresponsive wakefulness syndrome means a person is awake but shows no signs of awareness, purposeful response to their environment, and this is due to severe brain damage. Yeah, so they were like torturing him.
To see how he came home was too much for us, but I almost passed out, but I got it together and I rode in the ambulance with him because I did not want him to be alone anymore. He'd been alone for way too long.
He's surrounded by his loved ones, but his condition soon worsens. He develops a high fever, 40 degrees Celsius. Fred and Cindy Warmbier are told that he'll never wake up, and they ask to have his feeding tube removed. 6 days after his release, Otto is dead. The news travels across the world.
The family of Otto Warmbier has said goodbye.
Valid. That's what I'm saying, dude. When you get told that they're never going to wake up and they're just going to be perpetually kept alive on machines, it's time, you know?
Nach dem Tod des
Sad.
Studenten Otto Warmbier.
Otto Warmbier скончался после возвращения из тюрьмы в Северной Корее.
Otto Warmbier murió pocos días después de ser entregado a los...
And what's so bad is we won't even know what they did to him, right? Because it's like, if he had woken up, he could have been like, Jesus Christ, and like told his story of like the North Korean prison camps and how they tortured him and all this other stuff, but he's fucking dead. So it's just like they literally just got sent a body.
而在台湾时间今天20号凌晨去世。
The American student who fell into a coma while in North Korean custody and has died.
On June 22, in Wyoming, Ohio, more than 2,500
There's a city named Wyoming, Ohio.
people attend his funeral. The condition in which Otto Warmbier came back to the U.S. and his
I did not know that there were cities that had the state name for a city. 500 people attended his funeral. Wow.
Wyoming, Ohio, more than 2,500.
They always say the impact on the people you had in your life is determined by how many people show up at your death.
People attend his funeral. The condition in which Otto Warmbier came back to the U.S. and his subsequent death are discussed nationwide. He left the United States in good health. He returned on the brink of death.
Do you know what happened to him in North Korea?
Untrue. I don't think it's untrue, but I think how you affect and touch people in your life does matter, right? The people that care are the people that show up.
I don't.
Content note: the following chapter discusses suicide. Viewer discretion is advised. Upon his release, North Korea gave an explanation for Otto's state. They said he contracted botulism, a rare and severe kind of food poisoning, after eating a meal of spinach and pork. After he fell
They were probably giving him fucking slop and actual terrible food, dude. Like, they weren't keeping him in good condition.
ill, they gave him a sleeping pill, to which he had some sort of unexpected reaction, which sent him into a state of unresponsive wakefulness. But US medical experts are quick to dispute this story. 3 doctors, experts in neurology, ran tests on Otto while he was still alive. At the request of the family, they hold a press conference to give their opinions.
Those tests did not reveal any evidence of active or chronic denervation, nor any repetitive stimulation that would suggest active botulism at this time.
The North Koreans,
So they just made that shit up. I mean, yo, that's actually fucking unreal, dude.
teams are lying, and the Warmbiers have a different story.
They tortured him. They intentionally injured him. It looked like someone had taken a pair of pliers and rearranged his bottom teeth. He had a large scar on his right foot.
They destroyed him.
They purposely and intentionally injured Otto.
On September 25, 2017, Fred and Cindy Warmbier gave an
I do love that they're doing this now, where they're like, because I didn't keep involvement in this after this happened. I just had known that he had died. But I love that they went out on news stations and were like speaking against it.
interview on Fox and Friends. Trump apparently watched. This becomes the narrative: physical torture.
Yeah.
And, as a consequence, brain damage. But soon, serious doubts emerge. Let's go through his injuries one by one. First, there was a noticeable scar on Otto's right foot. This is Dr. Lakshmi Kota Samarko, the coroner selected to conduct an external autopsy. Fred Warmbier had noticed the scar, but had Dr. Samarko?
Physically, as far as wounds, there were a few small scars that we documented. There was one that we really couldn't explain for medical instrumentation, which some of the other scars we could. But there wasn't anything on the external examination to indicate, other than that one scar that we couldn't explain, to indicate torture.
The Warmbiers opted against a complete autopsy, offering no reason for this decision. But Dr. Samarko did perform an external inspection. Later, in a lawsuit against North Korea, an expert witness cited the scar on Otto's foot as potential.
A lawsuit against North Korea. How's that working? Hey, Kim Jong-un, we're suing you. No, you're not. And then they just move on. Like, how do you sue North Korea?
Evidence that he was subjected to torture, possibly electric shock. But does this injury prove Otto was tortured? No. Then there are his teeth.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't even say the rearranged teeth. I would assume that if he had gotten tortured, they were like zapping his brain. Like that shit they were doing during World War II at that school. Or what? It wasn't a school. What was it called? With that doctor? Unit 731. Yeah, Unit 731 and Shiro Ishii. And they would like zap people's brains and shit. Like they would just keep, it would be like electrocution torture, but it would be like to change your mind.
Fred Warmbier said it looked as though Otto's bottom teeth had been rearranged. Dr. Samarko couldn't confirm this.
We also consulted our forensic dentist, Dr. Wright, and had him take a look at the imaging, specifically dealing with the lower teeth and mandible. He agreed with us that there is no evidence of trauma to the lower teeth or mandible.
In the lawsuit, this finding was disputed. 2 of Otto's private dentists testified that his post-mortem dental x-rays, when compared to previous x-rays, indicated that some of his lower teeth had been bent backward, movement consistent with an impact injury. The New York Times had reported that Otto had been repeatedly beaten. That's not impossible. An ex-North Korean spy who was familiar with, though not directly involved in Otto's case, said he'd heard Otto was roughed up by prison guards.
그분이 감옥에 있으면서 간수들이 있잖아요. 간수들이 많이 때렸대요. 왜 때렸냐면
언어가 안 되잖아요.
He also continues to say that there might have been waterboarding. To him, that's standard practice, what he'd call
yeah, non-physical, like it's physical torture, but not something that would show up in like wounds.
battery rather than torture. It's difficult to say whether this ex-spy is credible, though. And even if Otto's teeth were bent backward, it's impossible to know for certain what caused that. Finally, the biggest injury of all, his brain injury.
The most important diagnostic test thus far was a magnetic resonance imaging scan of the brain. This study showed extensive loss of brain tissue in all regions of the brain.
In other words, the damage is universal, and scans show it occurred all at once. There's a technical term for this, an anoxic encephalopathy. It means an injury caused by a lack of oxygen to the brain. So either blood ceased to flow to Otto's brain, which would result in a lack of oxygen, or Otto stopped breathing.
This pattern of brain injury, however, is usually seen as a result of cardiopulmonary arrest, where the blood supply to the brain is inadequate for a period of time, resulting in the death of brain.
Oh my God, are they saying that he took his own life when he was in prison?
In tissue.
In general terms, one of the more likely causes of a cardiopulmonary arrest in a young person would have been a respiratory arrest.
In all likelihood, Otto stopped breathing. Any number of events could have caused this. An allergic reaction, choking, near drowning, anything that might prevent oxygen from reaching his brain. But which of these events was the cause? There's no way to know.
I hate that.
We have no certain or verifiable knowledge of the cause.
How could he have done that? Asphyxiation?
Or circumstances of his neurological injury.
A cause that could almost certainly be ruled out was repeated beatings. Repeated beatings to the head would have caused asymmetrical damage, with some regions being affected more than others. Also, scans revealed no fractures of the skull. Despite all this uncertainty, the Warmbiers insist on torture. And the question of whether Otto was tortured or not is not a medical side note. By now, it has the potential to escalate a simmering conflict between two nuclear powers. A year and a half before, mere days after Otto's detention, North Korea had carried out its fourth nuclear test in defiance of international sanctions. It also launched a long-range missile. In September 2016, it performed another nuclear test. By 2017...
Bro, I just don't understand how, like, Russia and China don't also want to just step in and stop them, because they're their own powers that, you know, obviously are semi-allied, but like they have to witness Kim Jong-un and go, this is fucking crazy. You know, like Russia does its own shit, and you know, right now they're in war with Ukraine and it's horrible. But they're getting like North Koreans are allies and aiding them in this. So I'm like, it just has to be like they're turning a blind eye. Like there's no way they're like, yo, you gotta stop. Like that's worrisome for them as well. No, I feel like Kim Jong-un's like not sane in the way that like Xi Jinping is in like how he's gonna hold certain like conflicts, you know? Like you don't want, like I think it's more scary if Kim Jong-un gets nuclear power than Xi Jinping, you know, like, but I mean, obviously Xi Jinping does have nuclear capabilities, but I'm saying like that's less scary for the world, you know, like even on either side, you're seeing this. You're like, maybe we shouldn't give this dictator nuclear power, not give it to him, but allow him to have that.
The year of Otto's return, the confrontation between the U.S. and North Korea was near the
Who's Xi Jinping, leader of China?
boiling point.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the United States. They will be met with fire and fury like the world has never seen.
It was the beginning of the 2017-2018 North Korea crisis. Meanwhile, Otto Warmbier's case took on an increased political weight. Trump had adopted the torture hypothesis as fact.
Trump need to press that red button. Terrible idea. You nuke North Korea, they're going to fucking nuke everybody else before they die. It's the same shit, dude. It's just mutually assured destruction. That's why nuclear war is like the max out for countries. It's just it enables you to have like an ultimate last defense of like, okay, even if you wipe my country off the map, we'll still kill you.
Senator John McCain said Otto had been tortured and murdered. Senators Adam Schiff and Marco Rubio also used the word murder. Fred Warmbier's analysis was that his son served as a sort of human shield.
North Korea doesn't do anything by mistake. It was their 4th nuclear weapons test, and they had a lot of things they wanted to cover, and they felt like Otto was going to provide them the security they needed to get away with these things.
Oh my God, to frame Otto to say that, oh, we need to escalate our military power because the Z Society and the Methodist Church and the CIA are all three conspiring against against North Korea, that we have to scale our military power.
Then, in 2018, Michael Flukinger, the doctor that helped bring Otto back to the US, revealed a new piece of information to GQ. The staff at the North Korean hospital where Otto stayed told Flukinger that they received him the day after his trial, and he was already unresponsive.
What? So he was in like a coma for a year?
They had to resuscitate him, then give him oxygen and put him on a ventilator, or he would die, Flukinger told GQ. Also, there's a brain scan dated April 2016.
We received copies of brain MRI images from the medical personnel in North Korea. The earliest images...
So how did he eat pork and spinach? BN, that was already disproven, bro. He did not have botulism. That was a lie that North Korean officials said to the United States to say that they didn't torture him.
Are dated April 2016. Based upon our analysis of those images, the brain injury likely occurred in the preceding weeks.
Of course, the North Korean story might be a lie. It might not be true that he was hospitalized the morning after his trial, but there is strong medical evidence that he sustained his brain injury in the days or weeks after March 16. In any case, Otto Warmbier...
Why the fuck did they not return him then? You know what I mean? Like, if they did that to him right then, why did they not... Like, why did they keep him? Like, that doesn't make sense.
But it's very unlikely that he was actually sent to one of the notoriously horrific North Korean labor camps. American detainees are treated differently. According to GQ, Otto Warmbier most likely stayed in a used guest house in downtown Pyongyang during his detention. The hard labor he was sentenced to would likely have been planting soybeans and making bricks. Grueling, backbreaking work, but nothing compared to coal mining, which is typical for North Koreans. North Korea needed him as a bargaining chip, and bargaining chips don't...
Oh my God, so maybe they didn't actually put him in that state. They just needed him as like a trade? Like, as fucked as it sounds, like a trade token. Like, it's something they could fall back on.
Have much value if they aren't in good condition. And in a sense, he was.
We believe that for somebody who's been bedridden for more than a year, that his body was in excellent condition, his skin was in excellent condition, and we didn't see any evidence of decubiti or bed sores.
In its article, GQ proposes a different theory than torture. During the 2 months between his detention and his confession, Otto was likely subjected to relentless interrogation for as long as 15 hours per day. The only respite from the interrogation would have been North Korean propaganda films. Previous prisoners were told their government had forgotten them. Some fell into debilitating depressions, even attempting suicide. At trial, so hours, weeks, or days before he supposedly fell into a coma, he was visibly desperate.
Please think of my family. Give me the oldest son in my family.
GQ speculates that in the hopeless hours after his sentencing, Otto may have attempted to take his own life. A lack of oxygen to his brain could have caused his injury. Of course, This theory is just one of many. An allergic reaction to a sleeping pill, an excessive administration of drugs, a suicide attempt, a heart attack, a form of torture that left no obvious lasting marks. It could have been any of these things. Without Otto here to tell the tale, we may never know the truth.
I mean, like, couldn't he, I'm just saying, I don't know if this happened. Couldn't he have tried to hang himself, like, 3 days after? Cut oxygen to his brain, didn't die. They save him, but now he's perpetually in this state, and the wounds that would be on his neck would have healed by the time he was sent back. He wouldn't have neck scars because he wouldn't have any laceration that would have been there would have been healed by the time they returned him.
In May 2018, something weird happened. Trump tweeted that he was going to meet Kim Jong-un in person, and everything changed.
Getting a good
I'm instantly asking that motherfucker what the hell they did to Otto.
picture, everybody, so we look nice and handsome and thin.
After the Singapore summit, Otto's name all but disappeared from Trump's lips, replaced by the name of Kim Jong-un.
And then we fell in love, okay? No, really. He wrote me beautiful letters, and they're great letters. We fell in love.
The previous year, Trump tweeted that he tried so hard to be Kim's friend and referred to their relationship as
It's a very special relationship.
In 2019, when asked whether he thought Kim knew about Otto's case, his reply was startling.
I don't believe he knew about it.
The Warmbiers were outraged.
Get the fuck out of here.
Trump had helped them bring Otto home and relisted Kim Jong-un's country as a state sponsor of terrorism. Now he seemed to admire him.
Well, he is very talented. Anybody that takes over a situation like he did at 26 years of age and is able to run it and run it tough. Very few people at that age, you can take 1 out of 10,000 probably couldn't do it.
Otto Warmbier was many things.
1 out of 10,000. Historically, the average person in power was younger than him. Bro, like, why are we glazing Kim Jong-un for being able to take over a dictatorship that was fucking handed to him? Like,
An all-American boy, an unlucky tourist, a loving son. But on the international...
Kim Jong-un was notably a bad student. Like, that was said of, like, he didn't do his homework, didn't show up on time. He was lazy. Like, what the fuck are we talking about? We're just glazing Kim Jong-un.
Stage, he was a pawn and a symbol. Pyongyang deployed Otto on the chessboard of politics, using him domestically as a mouthpiece to spread anti-American propaganda, and internationally as a bargaining chip, a hostage to be traded for the easing of sanctions or other U.S. concessions. For the Trump administration, Otto Warmbier was useful as a symbol, driving the narrative that he was tortured by a barbarous regime and possibly using his death as a means of psychologically preparing the American public for war, the threat of which Trump hoped would make Kim back down. Otto was sentenced to 15 years hard labor for an alleged crime that in most countries would be considered, at worst, vandalism, based on a sham trial. No matter what happened to him,
I think in most countries you wouldn't even get arrested. I think in most countries you would probably get a small fine, or they would be like, you're just banned from coming back to the hotel.
that in itself is damning enough. And even if he likely never had to go to one of North Korea's prison camps, they are hell on earth. Uncertainty about his cause of death.
What'd he do? Take a poster. And it might have not even been him. Everybody that was with him said that he wasn't even at the hotel at the hour that they said that he did it. And you can't see a face. You only see the figure of a man. And there's a lot of men in the world. So, like, that shit just pisses me off. I fucking rip Otto in the chat because that was fucking horrible. Like, wow. Inside the world's scariest meat market. Is that real?
North
Why does that look like a doll?
Sulawesi's markets are just on this completely other level. People call it Asia's most extreme market for a reason. This is like the final boss of extreme food culture. I've never seen anything quite like it. This is pure amount of madness. Even Indonesians from outside this.
I feel like I'm not really okay. I've never eaten a bat before. Would I try it? Yeah, I would try. I would try a bat, but like I feel like in a crazy exotic meat market would be like some shit that's poisonous. If they were selling like Fuji or whatever it is, like fucking puffer fish, no, not getting that. That's how you get COVID, dude. Then I'd be patient zero.
Downright terrified of this place. It is
Fugu, not Fuji.
known to have everything you
That was just a duck.
can imagine. Cats, dogs, rats, pythons, and endless numbers of bats.
All right, hard pivoting what, yeah, okay.
I gotta be honest, guys. I don't know if any of this ever makes it on.
Would you eat a dog? No. I'd eat a guinea pig. I would never eat a dog. I'd never eat a dog or a cat. I think that it's, obviously it's like different culturally how you view that animal, but I truly believe that like dogs and cats are basically bred to be human companions rather than food, so I don't think it even makes, not even just moral, but like logical sense to eat a dog. Would you eat a horse? I would try a horse. They serve, when I was in Iceland, I can't eat a horse, because I have alpha-gal. Anyways, I would try one, though, if I could. But, yeah, they have horse in Iceland. That was, like, a big thing on one of the I went to, like, a big steakhouse, and they had a bunch, they had steak, they had whale, they had horse, and then puffin. And I was like, wow, I'm not going to try that. And I wish I kind of did, because now I can't. Whale? Yeah, I feel like I wouldn't like whale. I don't think I would like eating whale. Puffin probably would just taste like chicken, and I would bet that horse just tastes like steak.
YouTube. And what
I would bet horse tastes like steak.
What appeals to me
like
is that
word for word.
Isn't about some kind of crazy shock value. It's not some weird medical claim that's driving the appeal. It's not novelty for tourists. It's none of that. This is what people eat here for Christmas dinner. In Tomahan for Christmas, you.
Oh, is this like festivity? Like this is like where people splurge.
Eat like bat.
Yeah, we do.
Like that's the specialty.
Correct.
And what outsiders see as just completely insane, as extreme, is just everyday Minahasan culture. It's part of the tradition here that just never really modernized. So why does this still exist? The wing is the best.
I mean, isn't it becoming more and more outlawed to eat like what would be considered Western pets in Eastern countries? Like, I feel like I've seen a lot of shit where it's, like, becoming more and more, I guess, normalized to just, like, not, like, hey, don't eat that. Like, I know that's obviously a stereotype, too, of, like, Asian people, which is just racist. But, I'm pretty sure that's, like, in most Asian countries, that's, like, not even really a thing.
That's crazy.
It's the best bit. Yeah. In my family, everybody will just, like, fights for the wings. Yeah, no kidding.
Here's my plan. We're going to check out a few of these markets to see if the food is actually mainstream or if these are just...
What do you think bat would taste like? Like a bird? I feel like it would taste... I feel like it would taste really bad. Like chicken, but like something's off. Like something's really not right. Like, just like a mixture of, like, chicken and turkey.
Few fringe stalls that are pushing this narrative on the rest of the world.
Crocodile? I've eaten crocodile or alligator.
And I'm going to...
I never know which I've eaten.
Push myself to the limits, of course, by trying this stuff out at a local restaurant. Check it out.
I think a dog would be the line for me. I would try, like, horse. I'd try guinea pig. I'd try rat, bat. I couldn't eat something that, like, I have as a companion. I would not be able to eat a dog. A cat? No, that's what I'm saying. Like, anything that I would say I would classify as, like, a pet. Obviously, guinea pig's a pet, but it's like I don't really have an attachment to, like, a guinea pig.
If I'm the only one there. And finally, we've got to head out to the source. We've got to trek into the jungle, try and find some locals to take us on a true hunt and see if we can see...
What is that? Oh, my God, just right over the flames.
How this stuff...
Holy shit, just cooking him with his fucking organs in and
goes
everything.
down Sulawesi style.
It is pretty thick Sulawesi jungle, and for just some tiny ass little rats, it is wild.
How do you catch a rat in a jungle? I feel like I would starve to death in the wilderness in fucking days, bro. How does somebody catch a rat? I would be running around that thing. Like, you would have to set up a trap. Raccoons are becoming domesticated. I would love to own a raccoon. They're little bandits. Wait, where is this? Sulawesi. Have never seen this on GeoGuessr. In Indonesia. I never guessed that island.
Side of the road, bat vendor. Just like...
Oh my god, I could tell you right now, if you fucking spawn me on this goddamn road, I'm going Jakarta. If you spawn me on this road, in GeoGuessr, I'm going, that looks like English, but I can't understand any of it. There's no special characters. It just looks like I'm reading gibberish. That's how you know that you're in Indonesia. Because it's like, okay, Babi Utang, Patolo, I don't know what I'm reading.
My kind of jam, you know? Just roadside, retailing bats. Boar, python, bats, frogs. Well, hello.
Ooh, I'd eat frog, no problem.
Oh.
They're skewered on sticks like some kind of popsicle from hell.
What an entrance to a market. We didn't even get there yet. We just saw this roadside guy just hanging out here. I have bat blood dripping all over my hands, but if you ask me, that is a good start to the morning. Let's go. Good morning.
All right, we gonna get a taste test here? I wish we had like a Disney adult go to one of these markets. All right, guys, so the market's gonna close in under an hour. Are we gonna be able to see how many bats we're gonna be able to eat in the next 30 minutes? Like, are we going to be able to make the rides in the next hour?
People, we are in Tamahan Market, which is well known.
I'm looking for a few items that I don't know whether or not they're going to have. First off, fugu. Poisonous fish.
Or has the reputation of being...
Are those eggplants?
One of the craziest meat markets in Asia. I gotta admit, so far, it is beautiful. But we're about to step into the meat section, which of course is where you beeline to when you hit an Asian market.
I would act like I'm an expert. I'd wander around. I'm staring at a dead bat. I'm just like, hands behind my back. I'm just kind of pacing like, how much? Ooh. Ooh.
Crazy. Woo. That did not take long.
Yeah, I'm happy he blurred that.
As we hit the corner of the market, there are some blackened out roasting dogs. There's pigs everywhere. There's a dude carrying around a tray of, is that rats? Or squirrels? That's rats?
Oh my god. Do you think they're seasoned?
Yeah.
Wow.
Bro, like I could not, like I'm not, oh my god, I don't think I could eat that. I know I'm stuttering. I'm like, holy fuck.
Oh, if you guys know anything about me, you know I'm very much a rat
I don't
fan.
think I could eat that. I would try it, but like, dude, I would want you to just hand me a piece of meat and just be like, tell me if this tastes good. Don't tell me what fucking animal it is. I don't want to see the whole dead rat and be like, all right, I'm going to buy it on a stick.
Of the market, there are some blackened out roasting dog squirrels. That's rats?
Yeah.
Wow. If you guys know anything about me, you know I'm very much a rat fan. I don't know why it's become this kind of like sick addiction. Jungle rat here in Sulawesi is a huge, huge thing. But we're going to venture a little bit deeper into this market and see what else we can find.
The second you step in, it is just absolute sensory overload. There's not one or...
Oh my god, I love that guy. Smoking a cigarette, just fucking cleaving away at this hunk of meat.
Absolute sensory overload. There's not one or two stalls here. Every vendor
they're all doing it.
Is just stacked with jungle fare. And one thing mainly jumps out. Bats. They are everywhere. They're stacked on trays, they're hanging on hooks. Vendors are flapping them about to try and attract customers.
Oh my god, guys, I don't think I've ever seen a market like this. This is pure and utter madness. It's just like, we are 2 steps in. I thought I'd have to hunt down the exotic meat, but this is like next level.
And the sight is wild. But the smell is what really brands it. Just burning hair, charred skin, blow torches, firing up the...
Yeah, like, I don't want to say are they overcooked, but the bats are char black. Are they not cooked and they look like that? Like, I'm going to be real. I don't think I've really ever seen a bat close up in real life. I know they have, like, fur, but you only see them in the sky.
Second an order lands.
We have huge pythons hanging from this structure. The boar is everywhere. Obviously, not that common in Indonesia. I'm so used to not finding pork in Indonesia at all, but this is a Christian area, not Muslim, so there's plenty of wild boar everywhere, just like hair on, and wow, there's some big...
That lady had a Gucci shirt on.
That's right here.
You think that shit was real? It's a little B-roll. She kind of looks disgusted by that.
That is wild. Oh, wow. All right, guys. That, I've got to admit, is kind of gnarly. Just the texture, the kind of wetness on my skin.
Oh, God, it's wet?
The like mini claws that are biting into my hands. The rubbery nature of it. It is just like one ugly looking creature. I guess we do like the
Is that its penis?
locals do. We buy a couple of these bad boys and we got to cook one up.
Do you eat the, do you think the wings kind of taste like chicharrones?
So this is how they
Could get behind that.
normally sell it. So the same like that, slightly roasted.
Yeah.
So it's easily, they will, when someone's coming in here and buy it, that will be clean all the stomach part.
Yeah.
And that's it. And then sometimes you can ask them to chop it or not, just like this.
Oh, you don't eat the wings?
He's taken off the wings, and I think he's going to give it a quick blowtorch so that it ends up a bit more like these guys hanging out down here.
The hair singed right off with a blowtorch.
Okay, there seems to be a pretty specific set of features that we roasted down, like the claws, like the hair right off the body. What we have now is this like naked fat.
And then it's broken down. Shoulders cut, chest pried open.
How much do you think the back costs?
What's left
$5
is hacked into chunks, ready for the pot.
We have this kind of...
Bro, I'm eating right now. I could eat watching this, no problem. I never understand that shit. Oh, dude, I'm eating. Oh, dude, I'm eating. You're not watching somebody throw... Bro, you know what you're eating? You know what you're eating? Probably a dead animal. You know what you're looking at? A dead animal. What the fuck? I mean, the disconnect's unreal right now. You're probably eating chicken wings, watching somebody cut a bat up, and you're like, oh, no, this is ruining my vibe. You're eating a dead animal.
Lovely assortment of fat parts ready to roll.
Okay, thank you.
All right, thank you. We got a sub, people. Yes. Oh, thank you, sir. One package of fat ready to go.
I want to see him eat it. When are you going to eat it?
This looks like a nondescript house in the middle of Sulawesi, but in fact, it is a restaurant. And inside, they have some of their local specialty dishes. This is like a common local eatery. It's not like you got to go to someone's backyard who cooks up special Chinese medicine infused, whatever, like you might find bat and cobra done in Jakarta. Here, it's...
See, cobra's a no-go for me because that thing's fucking poisonous. Like, anything that kills prey by, like, poisoning them to death or, like, inserting some sort of venom is a no-go. Like, I wouldn't want to eat that. You also have alpha gal. I could eat a snake, Zod. Snakes aren't fucking mammals.
a staple. So we're going to check out how it's done right now. Let's go.
The Minahasan people are devout Christians.
How do snakes have sex? I'm not Googling it.
And it is absolutely everywhere you look. You walk into a restaurant even, and you can just feel it everywhere. There's crucifix.
They don't? No, they do. No, they definitely do. I don't think it's like a salmon thing where like one lays an egg and the other fertilizes it. They have coils. Yeah, I'm assuming it's like a hole.
Verses on the wall, and just this faith is woven into this space. And in my mind, that's kind of starkly juxtaposed against what is on the menu. It's not that there's anything wrong with it, it's just not what I usually...
That's no problem, bro. Rice with chicken, I'm getting that off rip.
...associate with sort of really traditional Christian meals. Either way, the menu is just straight up jungle fare. There's bats, pythons, dogs, you name it, and the place is just packed. Locals are pulling up, lining up at the counter and ordering canteen style like it's just another weekday lunch spot. They're like, I'll take a better cat, a better dog, some of that python, a bat, please. It is kind of wild. And out back, the cook is already in his groove. I hand him the bat, and he is more than happy to show us how this is done from scratch.
All right, the fly's going over it's a problem.
The bat first gets cubed, and I'm talking just straight up cubed. Everything is going in this thing. Organs, intestines, the hairy ears, those pea-infused wings and skin, the whole lot.
Pea-infused wings? Pea? Bats store pea in the wing? No.
People, they eat with
pea. Am I mishearing what he's saying? Pea from the wings.
Guts.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it was like a medicine.
Wow. With the guts in the bat.
Yeah. Obat apa? Oh, asthma. Asthma medicine. For the traditional remedy, they will get the guts out and, I don't know, some like mix with something, and you can do for asthma remedy.
And by the
okay, I like they're giving a
time it hits the pot, I'm already questioning my life decisions.
It looks kind of wild to me. I'm not
I would be like, make that shit extra well done. I want it to be like char.
gonna lie. I thought the bat wouldn't be that bad, but I think it's kind of like, it is pretty challenging with like all the guts and the organs and everything in there.
Yeah, honestly, I don't think the bat's the problem. It's that it's eating, like he's cooking everything. If it was just like, oh, we're gonna take some of the meat.
After a good 20 minutes or so of boiling, the bat is then set aside, but the wok water, notably, is saved.
The broth, they will drink it. So that's how they keep strong or maybe healthy, just like traditional medicines, apparently.
The wok is then refilled with oil, and the cooking shifts gears. We're gonna add some lemongrass, garlic, huge spoonfuls of chilies, shallots, ground turmeric, and then, of course, the bat. And on top of all of
Hey, they're kind of saving it. They're kind of saving this right now. It kind of looks disgusting still, but like what they're adding, maybe I'd give it a try.
this, he pours back in that leftover broth, that rendered down stank, just to add a little bit.
I need to smell this. Can YouTube implement a system where there's like some tube that just emits whatever this smell is? That would be if it smelled rancid, I would throw up. But if it smelled like chilies, I'd probably be able to eat it.
More funk to this water.
I'm not looking forward to this bat anywhere near as much as I was the python. I don't even know if you guys saw the python. Might be a different episode.
We're then going to hit this with some pretty intense heat. Just basically stir fry it up. Just like that, we have one bat cooked up Minahassan style, ready to serve.
It looks gross. If I'm being like to me, like that's an intestine or something there. I wouldn't want to eat it. But like I'm not judging anybody that would. I just think that I would not enjoy that. No.
Hi guys, we have here a giant bowl of sliced and diced up bat. Well, it looks more edible now than it did earlier, I've got to admit, but regardless of how much extreme food I have eaten, this is...
I think the texture would be a big factor. If I bit into something and I got like I was biting into like a ligament, that would induce instantaneous vomit from me. Like it would be like just like in the same motion I would throw up. Or if I like bit into like an organ of some sorts and it like kind of popped in my mouth like a gusher.
I have eaten. This is probably going to push me to the limits. There's something about a bat with its reputation, and then seeing this thing cooked with just like all of its guts, with the broth added back in for like extra flavor from it being boiled. But this place is packed. Everyone's chowing down on a bat and python.
Oh, is that a bone?
So if everyone else is doing it, I guess we dive right in.
Nice. Dive right in. What do you mean? I guess we dive right in, dude. You're doing a fucking Squidward bite right now. What the fuck is this?
Oh.
It's tough.
And it's tough. Your skin is just so tough. It's wild. It's almost like a leather. Just eating that, you gotta really work it. You know, you guys might not have seen it in this episode, but I literally just chowed down on a bunch of python that was cooked this exact same way. And I was under the impression that it would be very much the same flavor profile. You cook two animals in the exact same recipe, but this is completely different. This texture of a frog, it is just the craziest, oddest creature. There is nothing like this. That is for damn sure. It's got a bunch of this black skin. Oh, there's hair on it. Oh, I don't know if I can do the hair. That is, wow. Look at that. Sorry guys, I draw the line at the hair. That is bonkers. You gotta really work this thing to get at this meat. And I thought this would almost be rat-like. Well, let me tell you, this is so much of a leaner animal than a rat. The organs were placed in here with this as well, and that is clearly like a kidney or a liver. And he said this cures asthma. Now, I don't have asthma, but it's put in there for people to eat. We're gonna chow down. Sort of powdery. That's almost better than the meat. Like, so
I'd probably rather eat that. I would probably rather eat, no. I know I had a kind of like a guttural reaction when I saw it, but I would rather eat that because I feel like it would be more akin to like something that I've eaten already versus like just the weird bony bit that's covered in like tough skin.
You eat it? The wing?
And why'd they cut off the wings and fucking get rid of them?
It's like lots of people, that's most favorite part, the wings.
I think what we have here is like an elbow, you know what I mean? The middle of that middle knuckle of a bat wing. And this is apparently the prize bit. So we're gonna try it. Here we go, guys. That's all skin that comes off it. It is so thick, so rubbery. You can taste or feel tiny micro hairs that weren't blowtorched off it. It has a real gamey flavor. I think the gaminess.
See, that's what I would be fearful of. I bet like raw that with all the seasoning stuff probably smells fine. See, no, the gaminess is a no-go.
So this is what is kind of throwing me off. A really, really difficult flavor to handle. Let me tell you. Whoa. Oh, I don't know if I can do that. That is tough. No.
Oh, and he's being so respectful, though.
Not for me, guys. Let me tell you.
Like, if this was like, they just pull a guy off the side of the street, they're like, yo, try this. Some dude from, like, London. Yo, try this. He'd be like, oh. I think texture is the bigger thing for me than taste. I think the gaminess I could probably get past. I think having to bite into it and yank it and then, like, chew it and it's kind of like gummy, no.
Now, that's a tough one.
Like, I could get by it tasting bad to me.
All right, market number 2, people. What's this market, Nita? Langawan Market.
Oh, God, there's another market. What are they going to fucking sell at this one?
A little bit outside of Tomahawk.
Oh, is this even for food? This looks like betta fish. Nah, that shit looks good. That shit looks good, though. What is that? That looks like smoked salmon.
Hi guys, this market seems wild right away. We've got these huge kind of grilling stations behind the various stalls, similar to what we saw in Tomahawk, where once you order something, it just gets one more blowtorch, maybe to clean it off before you hike it back home. I see huge chunks of python getting grilled off, a dog in the corner. There is bats absolutely everywhere. And again, it just seems to be like a primary meat in this area. It's not just like some kind of novelty. Cat, python, more cats, dog. Wow, I wonder if you can even show cats. Guys, these pigs, these long-nosed pigs, is just wild, right?
I've never seen that animal a day in my life. Never seen that animal a day in my life. That is a pig with a horn. But like a weird curled, those are boars. Yeah, but was that a part of its body?
Just bat everywhere, guys. Bat and boar.
How are they getting this many bats, though? Are they farming them? Or is it like they're finding them in the wilderness? Because I just don't understand how every market has fucking hundreds of bats.
It's how much? 3 for 100,000.
Correct, yeah. That's how they normally sell it.
So it's $2 a rat?
Like in like 3 pieces for a higher price. Yeah, they won't sell it once because like you wouldn't if it's not
Is that a good price?
enough for one portion.
I'd eat that. I'd eat that. That,
Wouldn't it
like,
like
bro,
more
compared
than
to a
the
lot of
high-
the others, the ruler as well, where it kind of dives into that. But it's like, if you're a dictator, you have to please all 4 people below you that run different areas of your government. And those 4 people have to please the 5 people below them, right? And at some point, you don't have to please people anymore because they just have to bend to your power. But you have to keep people in power happy, otherwise they will turn on you. So that's why Kim Jong-un never gets turned on, because he keeps the people right below him happy. Because they lived a shitty life, he brought them out of it and said, hey, if you just follow my rules and do what I do, you'll have power, you'll have a chauffeur, you'll have a mansion, you'll have a nice wife, you'll have this and this and this and this and food and cigarettes and weed and fucking whatever the fuck they want, right? And they'll go, okay. And so they'll just do whatever he says.
Kim didn't break any laws to get here. His parents did. In North Korea, this form of collective punishment is called yunjoje.
Wow.
Guilt by association. Up to 3 generations can be punished for crimes of family members. When Kim was a child, his father and brother were accused of spying for the United States, enough to execute them. After that, Kim was brought to an orphanage under a new name. It took more than 40 years until someone found out about his true heritage. Even Kim himself wasn't aware of the supposed crimes his family allegedly committed.
And that's insane. He didn't even know. He didn't even know. Oh, sorry. No, now you're going to fucking get stripped of everything.
There's absolutely no judicial process. This is extrajudicial punishment. They'll just, take you away in the middle of the night, together with your family members. You just disappear. That's how it goes.
대낮에 잡아가는 건 없어요. 다 밤에 그냥 원래 그냥 어느 순간에 와서 싹 다 쓸어 가고.
Without the neighbors noticing. So one day you're just living your life like in whatever, if you're in the city in North Korea or wherever, and then the next day your neighbor just disappears. Wow, and then you just don't talk about it. And it's just like, but it's just unspoken. It's like, oh, he disappeared. We know where he is.
정치범 수용소에 가서도 그 가족들은 우리가 뭘 잘못해서 왔는지 그걸 모른다는 거죠.
Fear is the most powerful tool for prison guards to keep inmates in line. During Kim's time in Camp 14, a total of 25 inmates are executed. One day, he witnesses a fellow prisoner being killed for collecting chestnuts that had fallen from a tree. Kim's
chestnuts that had fallen from a tree. Were they even being used?
Spends most of his days underground. Hours and hours of endless work with no sunlight and no mercy. Kim struggles. He's never faced labor like this before. Mistakes are inevitable, and every one of them is met with the punishment of a guard who never leaves his side.
Do you think he had like an internal wow moment? Because he was a high-ranking military official, and then now he's being sent to where he probably had to send other people.
One day, a guard strikes Kim with the butt of his gun till he falls unconscious. For the next 2 days, he only receives half his meals. After more than 2 months of living like this in Camp 14, Kim decides to end it. Following a long day of work, he steps into the elevator of a mining shaft. The metal cage ascends until it reaches a height of around 2,000 feet. He pulls the safety pin, and the elevator falls. But Kim survives, and the vicious cycle goes on. When Shin is about 6 or 7, the camp's borders shift. His village is merged into the neighboring Camp 18, just across the river. It's said to be slightly less brutal than Camp 14, but for Shin, life hardly changes at all.
Oh, he got moved to a different camp over?
Shin is 15 and has moved out from his mother's home. He now lives with his father. One day, a teacher allows Shin to spend the night at his mother's house, a reward for good behavior. When he arrives, another guest awaits. It's his brother.
Wait, he got awarded for good behavior, but he tried to take his own life in an elevator. Did they just think it was an accident or something?
One day, a teacher allows Shin to spend the night at his mother's house, a reward for good behavior. When he arrives, another guest awaits.
Oh, it's the previous kid. It's when he grew up? This is him when he's older?
When he arrives, another guest awaits. It's his brother, Shin Hee-gyun. The 21-year-old works at the prison cement factory, a couple of miles away. Shin doesn't like him at all. In the middle of the night, Shin wakes up from his sleep. He hears voices from the kitchen. His brother is talking about escape. His mother seems to support him. Shin's first instinct, he has to report this.
Oh my god. Dude, having to rat on your own family, they'll die. Holy shit. Like, I was thinking it in the sense of like, oh, you just see some guy at like your work doing that. Like your own you would have to fucking snitch on your own family. And because, and it's not even snitch on them and like, oh, they'll just get punished. No, they're going to get shot in the head in front of you. And then you'll be like, not even really rewarded. It's just like, okay, you're not going to die.
He goes to a nearby dorm room and wakes a friend to ask for advice. The friend urges Shin to tell the guards. They go to the school's night guard on duty and report the escape plot.
Wow.
Shin also signs a false police statement, claiming he saw his mother and brother commit murder. This piece of evidence ultimately leads to an execution order.
Wait, so they had to fucking... Wait, what? So they have to fake that they committed a crime so they could kill him? I thought they were just able to kill him for conspiracy to run.
The guards take Shin to an execution site next to the Taedong River.
Why are they taking him there? I wouldn't want to go see that.
A crowd has gathered to watch. They drag out his mother and his brother. They're killed in front of Shin's eyes. In 1996, Kim Young is transferred to Camp 18. To him, this place feels like heaven. The labor conditions are slightly better, and to his surprise, he reunites with his 70-year-old mother, who is also a prisoner here. But the violence and abuse
70-year-old mother, I thought his mom just died.
Don't stop. One day, he has to witness how guards beat up his mother and force her to do manual labor. His mother is certain they will both—
Oh, other guy. We keep bouncing back between people. Sorry, this is the dude that used to be a high-ranking military official.
labor. His mother is certain they will both die in the camp. Even though it means risking his life, she urges Kim to leave her behind and escape. Escaping from a North Korean death camp is almost impossible.
You know, these are highly protected facilities. You're talking barbed wire, walls, armed guards, intersecting lines of fire.
Well, it's not even just that. You're also extremely you're experiencing extreme malnutrition. And so you're weak. You know, you can't run. You can't you're not going to be able to scale a fence very easily. You have no muscle.
We're talking machine guns. Very, very difficult to escape. I mean, it's, difficult to escape a detention facility in any civilized country. Imagine North Korea.
Kim Young quietly studies his surroundings. He observes, waits, and starts thinking. He lays out multiple escape plans, but none of them seem doable to him. Another hard day of work. The prisoners are loading coal onto a train. Suddenly, they spot something. Grain scattered across the bottom of a train car. It must have transported food before. The scene explodes into chaos. Prisoners drop everything, desperately looking for the tiniest speck of food.
What, are they going to eat it right there?
The guards start shouting, but no one listens. Kim discovers a narrow space beneath a metal panel in the floor of a coal wagon. He squeezes inside, and as the train rumbles out of Camp 18, he rides with it.
No way.
Hours later,
He got out because people were staring at grain so he didn't even plan this escape. He just on a whim just tried to get out. Is this based off a true story? This is a true story. This is basically the video version of an actual man's account that escaped North Korea and wrote a book about it.
Later, the train reaches Go-On Station at around 4 a.m. We don't know exactly how, but Kim manages to crawl out of his hideout and disappears into the night.
But then what the fuck do you do? You know what I mean? I wouldn't know if I got out and now say you're in China. What do you do? Do you just go, you gotta go, you get a job? You have no ID. You're not a citizen, right? It's not even just it's not even oh, you're an illegal immigrant. It's you're not even on a record. No one knows who you are. I would have to find, you know what I would do? I would go to another, say I was in this scenario, I feel like I would try to go to a country I knew was enemies with North Korea, and I would go to I would try my hardest to find what is it called, where they have like their own setup in different countries? What is it called? You know what I'm talking about. Embassy. I would go to like the U.S. Embassy, and I would be like, I'm a North Korea escapee. Like I would go to some embassy because he was a soldier too, so he knows the countries that are enemies. I would go to the enemy of North Korea and be like, I escaped. Like, please, you don't speak English? I think they're going to put 2 and 2 together. If you are at a U.S. embassy in China and some dude runs in speaking Korean, clearly malnourished, beat to shit, you're probably going to be like, okay, calm down. I'm going to get a translator, right? Even if you don't speak, say you don't speak the language. You know, I feel like there's something that you'd be able to do.
Kim successfully escaped
I'm not even
Camp
just saying
18.
U.S. embassy, just any embassy that's not in association or partnered with North Korea.
But his path to freedom is still very long. After finding a worker's uniform, he changed his clothes.
You want to know what an embassy is? That's true. But you can't just walk up to a random guy in China and be like, I'm from North Korea, help me. You're not going to be able to speak to them, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, they're just going to rat on you.
And starts a treacherous journey that will take him many months through China and
Oh my god, he had to go all the way to Mongolia?
Mongolia to South Korea, where he'll eventually
What? He had to make his way all the way to Mongolia so he could catch a flight to South Korea?
seek asylum. Escaping a prison is one thing. Escaping the country is another. We made a whole video on how to escape North Korea. Link is in the description.
Yeah, we watched that video.
Shin also manages to escape from Camp 18 twice, both times by crawling under a fence. Both times he's recaptured. After his
I'm wondering why he wasn't killed if he was recaptured.
second attempt, Shin is sent back to Camp 14 and is thrown into a special detention center, a place with only one purpose: torture.
I still have the scars of my torture and the burns. Look at my arms. My arms aren't normal. They are bent and deformed. Before
His arm is like they snapped it.
I was tortured, my arms were straight. When I was tortured, my arms were tied up with a rope and pulled backwards. That made them more and more bent. I'm filled with anger when I stand in front of the mirror and look at my body after a shower.
After 4 weeks of torture, he's thrown into a pitch-black cell. No windows and barely enough space to lie down. There he'll spend the next 6 months. After his release, Shin is thrown back to the general prison population. He has to work in the coal mine, the farm fields, and eventually in a garment factory. This is where he meets Park Young-chul, a man unlike anyone Shin has ever seen. Born into an elite family, Park once held a prestigious job and had seen the world beyond North Korea's borders.
What? So he left North Korea?
By then, Shin already knows he's on the execution list. With Park at his side, he begins planning what will be Shin's third and final escape. Shin and Park are assigned to do some woodwork up in the mountains, along with some prisoners. They're chopping wood near the outer fence. The camp's fence is around 10 feet high.
How many guards do you think they got for, like, a group of people? Because part of me's thinking, like, you could just rush those motherfuckers, you know?
Lined with high-voltage barbed wire.
But I feel like, bro, if you got a group of 10 people, they probably got, like, 3 guards. And they're all holding machine guns or rifles.
The next guard tower is a quarter of a mile away. Shin watches.
Some people would die. Yeah, well, realistically, they probably have enough guards to where all of them would die, so they can't revolt. But I'm thinking, like, if you had 2 guards and 10 people, you could realistically try, like, knowing 8 of you are going to die, but, like, 2 of you are going to be able to overpower them and live, and then you just steal their shit.
The patrols. There are long gaps between them where no guard is close enough to spot the 2. The plan is simple. Wait until dusk so that their footprints can't easily be traced in the snow. They slip through the high-voltage wires without touching them.
Risky maneuver.
As the sun sets, Shin and Park move closer to the fence. They hack branches, pretending to stack wood. Nobody notices them. Park hesitates. Shin's heart races. He grabs Park's hand and they run. Shin slips. Park reaches the fence before him. He tries to squeeze his head between the two lowest wires and hits one of them. Park's body is not moving. The bottom wire bends under his weight, creating a narrow gap.
Oh my god, and you just leave him. Oh my god, you just leave him.
Shin crawls over Park's
You have to.
body. He is almost past the fence when his legs slip, hitting one of the wires. The voltage tears through him. His pants char. His skin burns from ankle to knee.
It's that fucking high a voltage. Did it kill him?
But somehow he makes it through.
No! Okay.
Park's body lies dead on the fence. Shin runs without looking back
Oh, because he got hit in the head.
for 2 hours straight until he realizes that he made it. He manages to cross the river to China, and after a journey of almost 2 years, he finally reaches South Korea. These are all the prison camps that are most likely active in North Korea today. According to Greg Scarlatoiu,
Like right now. Like right now. I know time difference, like it's 7 p. Time difference, what time is it in North Korea? It's 8 a.m. There's people in North Korea right now in camps that are like doing slave labor. Right now. Like right now, there's probably thousands of people that are actively fucking doing crops, cutting wood, being beaten to death. Fuck, man.
the camps are changing, and not for the better. Camps near the border have reportedly been moved further inland, likely to make escape even harder. And some new internal perimeters have appeared, possibly to isolate high-value prisoners.
The third development, in terms of infrastructure, evolution and development, has been the creation of watchtowers and what appears to be intersecting lines of fire around the camps. That would be meant to basically exterminate those who attempt to leave those camps.
For some camps, evidence is even scarcer.
There's one camp that we know very little about, and that's Camp 16, 1-6. That's very close to the Punggye-ri nuclear testing facility. And I've spoken with the South Korean nuclear scientists who said, look, we don't believe that prisoners are used in digging those tunnels for the nuclear tests, but it is very likely that they will be, used and abused while cleaning up after those nuclear tests.
The
Oh my God, what? And then they're gonna like die of radiation.
HRNK estimates that up to
120,000 people in these camps.
people are currently held in North Korean prison camps. In fact, as a viewer of this video, you might know more about them than most North Koreans ever will.
We have to remember that these people are being tortured and maimed today. They were tortured and maimed yesterday, and the same will happen tomorrow. So, I think it's a matter of moral, ethical, religious, and political obligation to continue to maintain our interest in these issues.
This is Shin today. He gradually adjusted to a life in society and became a public speaker and advocate for human rights in North Korea. In 2015, Shin Dong-hyuk retracted parts of his story and admitted to changing certain key details in Escape from Camp 14. The book's author published a detailed statement outlining every change Shin had made. According to Shin, some memories were simply too painful and others too shameful to share truthfully at the time. This is
Wow. So it's not even like he made it seem worse. He made it seem better than it was. Like one of the edits it showed was that he hated his brother. And so it was easier for him to rat on him.
a common reaction for victims of torture, who often cope by suppressing or distorting their accounts of what really happened. Greg Scarlatoiu and others believe Shin's changes don't alter the fundamental truth of his reports.
Was Shin Dong-hyuk a political prisoner? Yes, 100%. Okay, he spent some time both at Camp 14 and Camp 18, right across the river. Did he witness the execution of his mother and brother? Yes, he did. So the fundamental elements of Shin Dong-hyuk's story did not change.
Shin bears the
Yeah, it's like small little additions to each part of the story.
scars, physical and psychological.
I just don't know how you could physically live a regular life after that. You know what I mean? Like they're very like advocative and they do public speaking work, but it's like always in the back of your mind, you're going to be like, people I knew are in that camp right now. Like, you escaped and now you could live in South Korea, but it's like, you know, there's over 100,000 people that are there still, and they're just never going to get out. Wow. That's a sad video, but I'm glad we watched it. All right, count me down 30 seconds, Sean. I got to piss, then we're going to hop. Why Otto Warmbier didn't survive North Korea. For the people that don't know Otto Warmbier, he is the guy that took the poster off a hotel wall in North Korea. They set him back in a vegetative state, and he died.
This is Otto Warmbier. He's a 21-year-old American college student.
My crime is very severe and pre-planned.
No, it was not severe. And I also don't know really if it was pre-planned. I think North Korea's government that killed this guy and effectively tortured him is full of psychopath narcissists that don't understand that somebody taking a poster off your wall really isn't that big a deal. You probably could have charged him for it. I think any other hotel would maybe get him for like vandalism, and it would be like a petty crime, petty theft, but not to the point where he has to be on a big news station and he's fleeing for his life.
Travel agency. The destination was Pyongyang, the capital of North Korea.
On the early morning of January 1st, 2016, I committed my crime aimed at harming the work ethic and the motivation of the Korean people.
Are we serious? Are we serious? Yo, they wrote that out for him to say. There's no way. I aimed at harming the North Korean people's work ethic. He took a poster off a wall, bruh. You're acting like he took a on Kim Jong-un's statue.
After a night of partying, he allegedly took a poster from the hallway of his hotel. Shortly after, he was detained for perpetrating a hostile act against the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
I understand the severity of my crime.
Now he's here, trying to save his life, at the mercy of a totalitarian dictatorship.
I have been very impressed by the Korean government's humanitarian treatment of severe criminals like myself. And if
Are we dead ass? Dude, when he got off the plane, that motherfucker got wheeled out. They put him in like a coma borderline. Are we serious? I respect how nice they've been treating me. When he got back, he died.
They're very fair and square legal procedures in the DPR Korea.
A communist regime that nurtures a deep hate for America.
The United States administration already knows about my act through the CIA. And
yo, I actually always used to say that I would go to North Korea if they let Americans go there. I'm now changing my mind because I know they would kill my ass. I have talked so much shit about Kim Jong-un and North Korea in general, like so much shit. I couldn't pull up and be like, hello, I love your country. There's no prisoner camps here. You're not killing your people. You're a great leader. Your people aren't malnourished. No, you invented the hamburger. Oh, wow. Oh, your father invented the hamburger. Sorry. Wow. Really? Yeah, you just came up with the idea.
Connived at my crime.
Soon, the case of this college kid will escalate the already tense relationship between two nuclear powers.
North Korea best not make any more threats to the...
And I also, bro, I gotta say, it's not... There's no feeling bad for Kim Jong-un, but like, Kim Jong-un is definitively a product of the environment he grew up in. Like, Kim Jong-un would be a regular guy if he had not grown up with his father being a psycho dictator that spoiled him and like ensured that he would be the leader of his nation. Like, his son, Kim Jong-un wasn't even supposed to be the leader of North Korea. His older brother was supposed to. but his father called him a pussy and said that he couldn't lead because Kim Jong-un was better and like capable of doing that shit because his older brother was too into music and was too womanly or something. Like, Kim Jong-un was literally manipulated from the second he was a child to be the leader of North Korea.
United States, they will be met with fire and fury.
Otto Warmbier, at this point, has no idea what he is about to face.
An American is being held captive in North Korea. He was sentenced to 21 years of hard labor.
Those prisons are rough places. If something very bad happened to them.
Americans' fateful trip to North Korea.
Complete failure to recognize fundamental human.
And I mean, dude, you're not even thinking like, not only is he in North Korean prison, he's in just foreign prison, which is already terrifying. Like, imagine you're a guy that only speaks English and you get imprisoned in China. You're in jail or prison, and no one speaks the same language as you. Like, maybe in China they would. In North Korea, no one speaks English because they hate English. They hate Western ideologies. So you're literally just like getting screamed at. You don't know what's going on.
Rights.
The dreams of a young man.
You're fucked.
Destroyed by dubious charges from a ruthless regime.
This very press conference might be his last chance to save his life.
I don't want to say, yeah, and I know that, like, they have him. Oh, my God. I feel like this is just one of those scenarios where it's like, and I'm not going to see, I know Trump was president when this was happening. And I think what he's doing right now, and he's like, we need to forcefully take over Greenland. Fucking crazy, right? Like, Denmark literally says we could use their military bases, and like, why is he saying that for his own personal gain? It's fucking weird, right? But like, this is one of those scenarios where I do wonder what would have happened if he was like, if Otto Warmbier comes back harmed, I will bomb North Korea. Like, if he just like flat out said that. Like, obviously he never would over this kid because he's not like, I don't want to say it, but it's like, the U.S. does hold value over important figures in foreign policy, especially with obtaining, like, either prisoners of war or, you know, people that are held captive in other countries. Like, if he was not just a random college student, it would be different.
This son in my family. My mother needs me. My father needs me. My younger brother and my younger sister need me. I entirely beg you. People and government of the DPR Korea.
I think he is emotional, but what sucks is he has to put like this begging plea when like he's not in the wrong. Like, he did a slap on the wrist thing and they kill him for it. He did something so minute. The counterpoint people are going to say is like, well, he was in North Korea, you should have known. But it's like, okay, bro.
For your forgiveness. Please, I have made the worst mistake of my life.
Otto Warmbier won't survive, and his case will bring
what'd he do? Took a poster off a wall.
The US and North Korea to the brink of war. But the version of events many people remember might not be true.
What? Can't start out the video.
Much of our research is based on this extensive GQ article. Find the link in the description. New Year's Eve, 2015. This is Kim Il-sung Square in Pyongyang.
It's not 2015 in North Korea. It's not 2015. New Year's Eve, different year in North Korea.
Thousands of North Koreans have gathered to watch the fireworks and greet the new year. Among them is a group of tourists. These are people from Europe, Australia, and the US. They're here with a travel agency, and they booked a 5-day, 4-night New Year's party tour for $1,200. Otto Warmbier is one of them.
I mean, that's crazy, dude, how much the country's changed since then that you were able to book a New Year tour in North Korea.
New Year's party tour for $1,200. Otto Warmbier is one of them. Now, after the fireworks, they return to their hotel, a 47-story tower located on a small island in the Taedong River. It boasts 5 restaurants, a bar, a sauna, a massage parlor, even a bowling alley. One of the restaurants revolves. Because of its location, people call it the Alcatraz of fun. During the tour, they'll drink at a fancy bar and eat at fine restaurants. And, on top, they get the full propaganda tour. They've already visited the 70-foot bronze statues of Kim Il-sung and Kim Jong-il, the country's first two dictators. They're regarded as near holy figures. State propaganda has it that when Kim Jong-il was born at the site of a holy mountain, a double rainbow and a glowing new star appeared in the sky. Today, his birthday, the Day of the Shining Star, is a public holiday. Citizens spontaneously salute the massive statue.
Yeah, and they have his dead body in a fucking box. Or some shit. It's either him or his son. They have his dead body in a box that they, like, fucking visit. Or some shit. It's fucking weird.
Homage.
Yeah, he's in an eternal
Propaganda
slumber.
is everywhere. Billboards show images of missiles striking the U.S. Capitol. Other posters sport slogans like, "Let's arm ourselves strongly with Kim Jong-il's patriotism." Disrespecting the communist dynasty can get you in big trouble. According to GQ, the Database Center for North Korean Human Rights confirmed a case of a factory janitor being prosecuted for bumping such a picture off the wall so that it fell and broke. Otto and the other tour members need to be careful. One wrong move, and they could face harsh punishment. Otto was raised in a suburb outside Cincinnati, Ohio, the oldest of three siblings. In high school, he was popular, athletic, and smart. At both prom and homecoming, he was crowned king. Speaking at his high school graduation, he quoted Andy Bernard from The Office.
"I wish there was a way to know that you're in the good old days before you've actually left them."
Now, he's majoring in finance. Halfway through his junior year, he decides to do a winter break adventure to North Korea. It makes sense. He'll be studying abroad in Hong Kong in the spring. In 2015, the State Department's travel advisory for North Korea is clear. It recommends against Americans traveling there at all. On the other hand, the website of Young Pioneer Tours, Otto Warmbier's travel agency, said that traveling to North Korea was, quote, extremely safe. The tour operator specializes in taking...
Yo, that's literally cap. Like, if you, even in 2015, if you landed in North Korea and you just went, fuck Kim Jong-un, arrested.
You to destinations your mother would rather you stay away from.
Kim Jong-un is both fat and stupid. Arrested. Dead.
Parents had their concerns. But, as Cindy Warmbier later said, why would you say no to a kid like this? Early in the tour, the group is visiting this ship, the USS Pueblo. The North Korean military captured it.
I'm not suicidal.
In 1968. The North Koreans claimed it had entered their territorial waters.
I gotta rewind.
Captured it in 1968. The North Koreans claimed it had entered their territorial waters. Now it's a tourist attraction. When the North Korean tour guide explains that the ship was seized from the United States, he doesn't say the...
Yeah, and they always go, oh, with North Korea's might. With North Korea's might, we took hold of the ship. The very weak Americans died trying to fight us, and now we use it as a showcase that we're much stronger. Yo, we could flatten your country. Like, I mean, it's just utter, it's garbage just being spit out of their mouth. Like, it is literally just like fucking king. Yo, nobody dick rides harder than the people of North Korea for Kim Jong-un. And it's not even because they want to. They have to, or they die.
United States. He says, the imperial enemy.
This is not political, chat, bro. I'm not putting a political warning.
In 1950 and 1953, the U.S. dropped an estimated 635,000 tons of bombs on the country, plus some 32,000 tons of napalm. Major cities were obliterated. 75% of Pyongyang was destroyed. During the war, as many as 1 million civilians perished.
Wow.
In 1953, a ceasefire ended combat in the Korean War, but a peace agreement was never signed. Technically, the North is still at war with the South, and with its ally, the US. Most Americans are unaware of this war, so much so that the Korean War is often referred to as the Forgotten War. Not so in North Korea. The North Korean tour guide explains what
some random history that I'm probably going to poorly explain to you is that the U.S. originally didn't even want to get involved in, like, Asian war, like, involvements. But during, or right before the Korean War, something happened with Taiwan, and the U.S. wasn't going to get involved. And because it was outside of, like, the line of protection or something that they had geographically drawn. And then there was something that roped in the U.S. to Korea, and then that, like, fucked everything for, like, the involvement of China and Taiwan, and then also, like, Russia, and how they backed the North Korean, it was like the Iron Curtain involvement, where they were trying to get South Korea to be taken over. And so it became this whole thing that the U.S. ended up getting in. I'm explaining this terribly. Yeah, it was like, originally there was no plan for the U.S. to even enter the Korean War. Like, we were just going to be like, we're out of it. It's not our problem. You know, and then they just roped us in.
82 American sailors that were captured along with the ship. They were beaten, starved, and only released after 11 months. Otto Warmbier is not visiting just any country.
Also, correct me if I'm wrong on that. I probably got info wrong there, and I explained it bad.
He's in enemy territory. Danny Grattan, his roommate during the tour, will later recount that Otto seemed a little bit shocked. To lighten the mood, he and the other tour members give Otto a nickname, Imperial Enemy. The rest of the tour goes smoothly. Sightseeing during the day, restaurants and bars at night. They even engage with the local kids by having a friendly snowball fight. One of the reasons people
You just throw an ice ball and kill one of them, and then that's a big deal, too. That'd be fucking scary, bro.
travel is to understand the world a little better.
Like, I feel like if I was in North Korea, I wouldn't want to do anything there. Like, I would just sit in a room and wait until it was time to leave.
Brilliant does that for learning. It helps you engage with ideas in a hands-on way, so you can unlock
It's an ad.
to everything on the platform. Back to January 1st, after the fireworks. When the tour group returns to the Yanggokdo Hotel, they split up. Some go to the bar. Danny Grattan heads to the bowling alley. They lose track of Otto.
I'd be hitting that bowling alley up too, bro. Oh my God. Second they say we got a bowling alley in the hotel, yo, I'm on the lanes nonstop.
When Danny gets to his room, around 4:30 a.m., Otto is in bed, sound asleep. Then, a day and a half later, the group is ready to get on the plane. It's time to go home. As the last members of the group, Danny's and Otto's passports are checked. The officers take an unusually long time to scan their documents. Then Otto feels a sudden tap on his shoulder. There are 2 North Korean soldiers behind him. They lead him away. Danny doesn't think much of it and jokes, "Well, that's the last we'll ever see of you."
Oh my God, and that actually was the last time they saw him. I wonder if he would be able, like, was there anything he could have told them that would have them let him go? Because, like, they know he took the poster. So is there anything he could have said that would have been like, even if he was like, I love this country so much, I wasn't trying to commit a crime, I just wanted to have this poster as a memento because I'm too poor to ever come back here, and this is just something that I really wanted to, like, know. Even then, it just doesn't matter. You stole it.
Months later, Otto is standing trial in North Korea's Supreme Court. He's accused of...
I was going to start a North Korean worship cult in the United States, and this was going to be something that I wanted to spread North Korean ideologies to the United States. Like, even if you were saying some shit like that.
Violating Article 60 of the DPRK Criminal Code, state subversion. The central piece of evidence is this CCTV footage. It's time-stamped. The early hours of New Year's Day, 2016. It shows a staff-only area in the Yanggokdo Hotel. A shadowy figure removes a poster from the wall and appears to set it on the ground.
Oh, he was in a staff-only room? Do you think they would have noticed if he had taken something from the hotel? That's what I know this is in the hotel, but I'm saying his room. Like, that's more what I would have tried to do. Like, if I was going to take something, like something from the room.
The poster looked like this, a propaganda poster, and it contained the Supreme Leader's name. Let's arm ourselves strongly with Kim Jong-il's patriotism. To remove it from the wall is a serious crime, a bid to impair the unity of North Korea's people. And that shadowy figure? According to the prosecutors, that is Otto Warmbier. The trial only lasts an hour. The Young Pioneers' North Korean tour guide testifies against Otto. A second witness takes the stand, an employee who says they noticed the poster had been taken from the wall. Otto's belongings are presented as evidence, and fingerprints are shown on a flat-screen TV. But most of the supposed evidence came from Otto's confession 2 weeks earlier. Here, he goes into the details.
Oh my God, don't tell me he actually didn't take the poster and they just framed a random guy.
On January 1st, 2016, New Year's Day, I committed severe crimes against both the people and the government of the DPR Korea. The task was given by the Friendship United Methodist Church. At the encouragement of the Z Society and the connivance of the United States administration.
He's saying that the U.S. government and the Methodist Church implored him to take the poster. Did he take it or did he just put it down? Like, I don't understand.
I came to commit this crime task.
The full story goes like this. His friend's mother, a deaconess at the Friendship Methodist Church in his hometown of Cincinnati, Ohio, instructed him to deal a blow to North Korea by stealing an important political slogan to be hung in her church as a trophy. As a reward, he'd receive a used car worth $10,000. Were he to be detained, the church would pay his family $200,000.
The aim of this crime was...
Oh, wow. So this was literally just all set up by North Korea, and they just framed a guy to, like, say that he was conspiring against the state?
To harm the work ethic and motivation of the Korean people.
He told his mother about his plans.
She cried and said not to do anything dangerous. I considered less, not wanting to hurt my mother. But since then, I received several alluring pressures from the Friendship United Methodist Church, leading me to finally decide on my crime attempt.
He then shared his plans with a member of the Z Society, a secret society at the University of Virginia that Otto wanted to join. He'd heard all of its members go on to get high-paying jobs.
He promised if I was successful, he would help me gain membership in the Z Society.
Finally, he decided to do it.
After I planned in detail to accomplish my plan.
Yo, and, like, do the North Korean people in this room believe this guy? Or do they also all know that this is a load of horse shit crafted up by some fucking dumbass on their end trying to say that, yeah, Otto Warmbier got paid by a random church pastor to fucking steal a poster. And that if he stole the poster, he would receive great financial gains and a used $10,000 car, as well as high-position job options when he returns. To steal a $5 fucking poster that is probably made of dog shit fucking material as well.
On the early morning of January 1st, 2016, I committed my crime of taking out the important political slogan from the staff-only area of the Angakdo International Hotel, aimed at harming the work ethic and the motivation of the Korean people.
And he explains...
What, the fucking one janitor and the maid at the hotel, dude? They probably have no guests at that fucking hotel anyway. I mean...
The plot goes all the way to the top.
The United States administration already knows about my act through the CIA, which is closely linked to the Z Society. and connived at my
Yo, the Z Society actually sounds like some shit that's made up from like a Disney film. Like, genuinely.
crime.
The church, too, is linked to the government.
The Friendship United Methodist Church is not a typical church. It is very wealthy, with $42 million. That is why the United States administration...
Yeah, the fucking $42 million. I mean, that number might be accurate across all of the Methodist churches combined. His local Cincinnati church does not have $42 million.
has very close ties with this church.
He was manipulated, plain and simple.
I was clearly given the task by the Friendship United Methodist Church. I was encouraged by the Z Society. My crime is very severe and pre-planned. I regret my actions more than anything. I beg for forgiveness, and I beg for help in any way possible to save my life.
완비호의 발언이 끝났습니다. 들으신 바와 같이 미 행정부는 우리 공화국을 반대하는 정말 더러운 행위를 감행하고 있습니다.
Experts agree that Otto Warmbier's confession seemed quite obviously coerced and staged.
Yeah. What? I mean, yo, how, dude, even the average North Korean person watching this, there's no way that they don't know what Methodists are. Like, I think they're just going, oh, the religion in the United States. Yeah, they always say religion's bad here. Ooh, they're conniving against us.
Korea has a history of coercing confessions, and the U.S. accused North Korea of broadcasting this one for propaganda purposes. A member of the Z Society said Otto had never approached them and denied any affiliation with the...
What is the Z Society? That's an actual thing? What the fuck? A secret society that was founded in Virginia in 1892? Remain anonymous because the belief that service, when provided anonymously, provides a unique philanthropic opportunity.
CIA. And the senior pastor at Friendship United Methodist Church said he didn't know of the deaconess mentioned by Otto. But this is later, after it's too late. Now, standing before the Supreme Court, all Otto can do is beg.
I was used and manipulated. Please, act to save me. Please save my life.
But his pleas fall on deaf ears. He's handcuffed and led from the room. He's been sentenced to 15 years of hard labor. 2 days later, on March 18, the Korean Central News Agency released the CCTV footage to the public. Western news outlets treat...
Bro, that's not him! Oh my god! I feel like the story I was fed was from North Korea. What the fuck?
The footage with suspicion. That figure could be anyone.
That shit's in 140p!
One story notes that the corridor is well lit, something that, in a country where electricity is scarce, is far from the norm for staff-only spaces. Some of his tour mates give interviews. One of them, Sarah McLaughlin, says there was an issue with the time shown in the video.
Your group had been out at a New Year's Eve party in the hours before that. Were you even back at the hotel then?
No, the time didn't match up at all.
According to her...
What the fuck? So from the start, North Korea planned on pinning this on someone, and they picked Otto because he didn't go out with the rest of them. Like, if Otto had gone bowling or something, they would have just picked somebody else.
The young pioneers didn't return to the hotel until around 3 a.m., more than an hour after the footage was allegedly captured.
Oh my god.
Another tour mate says in an interview with the BBC that Otto was careful to observe the rules. They'd been told not to take pictures of military staff or installations, and he'd been nervous when taking a photo with military personnel in the background.
Men for mig giver det simpelthen ikke mening, at den samme fyr, som stod og var så nervøs over at få taget det her ene billede, som måske var lidt på kant med det, vi havde fået at vide, vi måtte, så kunne drikke sig så fuld og forvandle sig til et helt andet menneske nærmest, og så bare jorde op og prøve at stjæle et banner.
His roommate, Danny Grattan, also doubts that it was Otto.
We never mentioned anything remotely like that. We'd already bought some souvenirs. In my heart of hearts, the guy I knew for 3 or 4 days was not that type of guy.
Everything about the whole story was fabricated, in my opinion.
But why?
Otto's parents, Fred and Cindy, turned to the Obama administration for help, but the Warm
Oh, was Trump not president at this time?
Beers later said they were advised to keep quiet. According to GQ, Robert King, the special envoy for North Korean human rights issues, warned that drawing media attention to the ordeal might anger the regime.
Oh my God, and then they would just kill him. I don't even think that's bad, the government, because my point was like, if Trump was president, I feel like he'd be like, I'm just going to kill you guys, give him back. But then they would just kill him. King warned Warmbiers to expect a marathon, not a sprint. He recommended the family be quiet to avoid antagonizing the unpredictable regime.
Media attention to the ordeal
Yeah, because they could just do anything.
might anger the regime. What makes it even more complicated is that the United States has never had a formal diplomatic relationship with North Korea. There is no U.S. embassy in Pyongyang.
Yeah, so how are they even going to communicate?
The Swedish ambassador serves as the liaison for Americans, but the Swedes' calls and emails are met with silence. The days turn to weeks, turn to months. Efforts at back-channel diplomacy are stymied. The issue is passed from one administration to the next. No one knows where Otto is, what he's doing, or how he's being treated. Then, in early June 2017, some 17 months after his detention, the news finally arrives. Otto is unconscious. An extraction team of doctors and diplomats is put together. And finally,
Let me start by saying that I'm glad Secretary of State Rex Tillerson and I, along with a very talented team, were able to get Otto Warmbier back with his parents.
Fucking idiot, dude. Like, I mean, like, we got Otto Warmbier back. He's in a fucking coma. We got Otto Warmbier back. He's brain dead. He's, what the fuck? We got him off the plane. You got him back. You got a body back, bro. You ain't get the guy back. Otto's not there mentally.
Otto Warmbier is returned to U.S. soil on June 13.
We're thrilled that our son is on American soil, and I'm able to talk to you on Otto's behalf, and I'm able to wear the jacket that he wore when he gave his confession. Otto, I love you, and I'm so crazy about you.
Bro, this whole fucking thing feels weird, man. Like, even there, I feel like the dad would be, like, crashing out.
Last night, being able to see Otto for the first time in, gosh, I bet it's 18 months, it was fantastic.
Mad at Trump? I'm not mad at Trump. I'm just saying that speech where they were like, oh, we got Otto Warmbier back. Like, it's not a victory, bro. He's not, like, make sure he's alive and well. Like, that'd be like, we got this person back. He's in a vegetative state.
Otto's not in great shape right now, and he's been through a real tough time, and it's great to have him with us, and I'm very proud of him.
Otto is home.
Were they supposed to leave him there? No, but don't announce on a press conference to up your PR that you got a guy back like you just killed Osama bin Laden, when in reality, the guy you got back, you didn't get back safe. That's all I'm saying. Like, they were met with soft ears, did nothing for 17 months, and then he comes back fucking almost dead.
When Cindy and Fred met Otto at the airport, they were shocked.
We walked over to the plane. We heard this howling, involuntary, inhuman sound. Otto was on the stretcher across in the plane, and he was jerking violently, making these inhuman sounds. Otto had a shaved head. He had a feeding tube coming out of his nose. He was blind.
Is this